What's going on, folks? And thank you for tuning in with me to another edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. This is episode number 596. Episode number 596 for all the folks that are keeping track of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. Man, we're almost to 600, isn't that right? Jesus Christ. And before we get into anything else, I'd like to remind everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire and let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house. And, of course, we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcasting, baby. I love being independent now. You can get to the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast by typing in your browser right now, and, of course, add this to your bookmarks, add this to your favorites, ghost.report. All right, that's as simple as that. That's what you type into your browser. That's what you type in. Add to your bookmarks, add to your favorites, ghost.report. And before we get into anything else, I'd like to remind everybody to also follow me on my only social media representation on the internet. Remember, if there's anybody claiming to be me on any of these other social media outlets out here, it's all a bunch of malarkey. It's all bullshit, okay? My only social media representation on the internet is on Gab, folks, all right? And if you don't have yourself a free Gab account, well, then I don't know what the hell you're doing. All right, Gab is the last bastion of freedom of speech on the internet today. All right, I mean, it has gone beyond the censorship of the Silicon Valley oligarchs that are trying to silence all of us out here on the right. I strongly advise everybody to get yourself a free Gab account. Type in your browser right now, gab.ai. And once you do that, just go ahead and get yourself a free account. And once you do, follow me on Gab, folks. Follow me on there. I am on Gab under the name Politics Ghost. All right, all one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. And I want to say what's going on to everybody out there in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. I see you, baby. Anyway, folks, if you are not a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, then I don't know why the hell you are not. I mean, good God. Aside from the fact that we're always talking all kinds of nice, serious politics, economics, international relations, social criticisms, we also get in the proverbial internet tomfoolery. And, let's just put it this way. When we dox QAnon, which I'm going to get into in just 1 minute, I'm going to talk a little bit about QAnon out here. But when we dox QAnon, by God, everybody in the True Capitalist Radio chat room witnessed that, and it was glorious, all right? It was glorious. If you're not a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, well, then come on down. Come on down. All you've got to do is go to the Gab account right now. Politics Ghost. That's my Gab. Go to my Gab. Check out my Gab. And once you're at my Gab account, click the subscribe button, all right? Click the subscribe button for premium content. And once you do, private message me on Gab, all right? And let me know your Discord chat name, and I will give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. It's that damn easy, baby. It's that damn easy. Now, I did talk about how I was going to say a few things about QAnon. I'm going to break in the introduction into two parts before we get into the crypto and stock portion of the broadcast. I first want to talk a little bit about QAnon. And the reason I want to talk about this is because he came out of hiding out of nowhere and, of course, decided to, flap his fat, fairy, fruity, furry, Cheeto-stained fingers on the keyboard and, of course, create some illusionary, abstract, language-filled bunch of bullshit that everybody is now circle-jerking to. Now, I want to be completely honest with each and every one of you people that believe in QAnon. You are just as ridiculous, as lunatic, as space cadet, as pathetic as the leftist at this point in time. I mean, this man has been doxxed. The reason that you didn't hear from anything from QAnon, because the guy that we implicated as QAnon, the guy that the capitalist army called as QAnon, got kicked out of his grandma's house after we called him. And wherever the hell that son of a bitch is staying now, that's where he's, gathering his little thoughts and conjuring up these little stupid, fruity, abstract, Nostradamus-like bullshit little excerpts that all these morons out here are just gathering around and having circle jerks to. Now, the reason that I'm so upset about the whole QAnon situation is because now that he's come back, you've got all these morons in every forum post, in every political chat room. You always got some goddamn QAnon circle jerking, tickle in the ass moron that's out here that says, QAnon predicted that. QAnon predicted that. And I'm tired of it. We doxed this fruity asshole. We doxed this fruity asshole and his team, for Christ's sake. He is a homosexual, furry poet. And there's a reason why QAnon is so poetic and abstract in his linguistics when delivering the so-called integral information that everybody needs to, interpret. This guy, who we implicated, you can go back in the archive, figure it out for yourself. We're not going to go through that over again. This guy we implicated was not only a homosexual, and I'm not saying this to be insulting, that's what he was. He had a gay lover. Look, we went in deep on this guy, no pun intended. I mean, we went in deep on this guy and found out everything about him. This guy had a gay lover that died in a car accident. Believe it or not, why is he using QAnon? Folks, he's a Star Trek enthusiast. We found many of his online personalities, and he used like 2 or 3 different names to peruse around and make accounts all over the internet since going back as far back as 2003. And he is a furry, but at the same time, he's a Trek fan. And believe it or not, folks, this QAnon is conjured up. And these furries, these people that participate in this online debauchery, this ridiculousness, this I don't even call furries decadent. It's just fucking sick. That they're just... There's something wrong with these people, and they always derive their modus operandi in the present relating to something that they saw in a fucking cartoon or in a Star Trek movie or in a fucking video game. Well, folks, QAnon is based upon the Star Trek character Q. Q. Yeah, there was a Star Trek character by the name of Q who was a godlike character who had godlike powers, but wasn't God. I mean, he could manipulate everybody into believing he was God, but he wasn't God. Aside from that, I don't want to get into all the investigations. Look, you go back into the archive, all right, and listen to that. But I'm just sick and tired of these people that are out here worshiping this goddamn QAnon bullshit. Because you people that are doing this are making us on the right look like idiots. You're making us look like we're neurotic nutcases, like we've got a serious problem. Now, the reason I say this, folks, is because in the latest QAnon post, he said something to the effect of "see the shining sea," okay? And because in the latest Donald Trump speech, I think it was to the veterans here recently, I think it was to the VFW, Veteran of Foreign Wars. There was, his entrance is, "I proud to be an American." Anyway, he says in that song, "From sea to shining sea." And believe it or not, you've got these QAnon nutcases thinking that QAnon is a prophet or is actually what they all say he is, some military intelligence guy that supposedly tapped Donald Trump to be president to ward off a coup d'etat And now QAnon, this military intelligence guy, has his hand shoved up the president's asshole and is telling him what to do. I mean, that's literally the story of this guy. And they actually suggested that because QAnon said "sea to shining sea" in his latest post, and that particular phrase in that song, "'cause I'm proud to be an American," you dumbasses. I mean, let me tell you something from somebody who has been watching Donald Trump's speeches ever since 2015. That has been his entrance song in every goddamn rally, you stupid morons. All right? That could be, I mean, I'm not joking around. First of all, just take a look. I mean, obviously, if you're looking at it from something like Right Side Broadcasting or Golden State Times, what they try to do is mute the music so they don't get a copyright strike from YouTube, and they put on their own music, so you don't get to hear what the music is at the event when the president's coming in. But each and every time, it's that damn song, "'Cause I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free." And anyway, he's been coming out to that ever since fucking 2015, 2016, every goddamn rally. And you know what? Before I even get to where I'm getting at, he also leaves with the same song. Like, whenever he ends the speech with the same song. It's a Rolling Stones song called "You Can't Always Get What You Want." You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometime, you might find you get what you need. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's the same songs. And because the latest QAnon post said "sea to shining sea," and because these stupid morons who are just becoming neurotic, psychopathic, insane nutcases that are trying to find just any kind of correlation, pattern, anything, they said this is proof that QAnon, man, is right up the ass of Donald Trump. You don't understand. He wrote "sea to shining sea." And you don't understand, when Trump came out and the introduction song came out, it said "sea to shining sea." You see, QAnon, he predicted this, man. He predicted this. And it makes the right look like complete idiots. I mean, I thought that, Richard Spencer and the alt-right and the white nationalists make us look stupid. These leftists have pulled a complete psyop, because, look, I personally believe, and from our investigations in the capitalist chat room, the True Capitalist Army, all right, from our investigations, it just, from my personal perspective, that the group, because it's not just Mr. Krieger, the guy who is, quote, QAnon. It's not just this guy. He's the guy who is typing up the abstract language, and he's the poet. I don't know if y'all saw, folks, we gave links to his poetry from 2006, 2007. And if you take a look at his poetry and compare it to the abstract bullshit language that QAnon talks about, it's eerily similar. All right? But it's not just this QAnon, it's not just this guy, Krieger himself, concocting this out of his head. He's got a whole team of people that are not just helping him concoct what to say, but he also has these people going out and propagating this. I mean, he has a whole team of people. I mean, you have to understand, folks, there was somebody that we know that infiltrated this group. This group is comprised of 20 to 25 people who are mostly leftists from our perspective. We saw no resonance whatsoever of right-wing politics. And when we investigated the man that was QAnon, he has no history of any right-wing leanings whatsoever. On the contrary, it seems pure leftism. And here we are. We're trying to... I'm getting back to the group. The group that was infiltrated by the person that we know that infiltrated this group, let's put it that way, told us the whole story about this group. that this group, instead of, like we, in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, we talk about current events, we talk about what's going on, we talk about the current news, etc. They don't talk about that in the chat room and forum posts dedicated to this secret QAnon project, is what they call it. They talk about what is going to happen in the future. That's all they're obsessed with in the chat room that they have, in the forum posts that they have. And they always talk about what's going to happen in the future. And they make all these connections in some kind of a think tank, some kind of a brainstorming outfit. And once they realize or give Krieger the idea of what to actually write, this guy is the guy who's the poet that puts it together in this illusionary, abstract language that can be interpreted in a million different fucking ways. And this is where you get QAnon, because once and let's just continue on with the protocol of what they're doing. Once they realize what they're going to say, Krieger goes to 4chan and 8chan, which are free forum posts. It's free, and posts these posts on those forum posts, and then he has the group who helped him think about all this nonsense to write, help promote, help market, help propagate the QAnon legend. He has many in his group that are making YouTube videos, making Twitter accounts and Facebook accounts. And all of a sudden, QAnon has gone from some legend who supposedly is predicting things in the White House, and QAnon predicted that. It's gone from that to let's go ahead and have a QAnon app on the Apple Store and in the Play Store and all this shit. Did you know that there's a QAnon app that costs $1, and all it does is just tell you the posts that are there for free on 4chan or 8chan. It delivers them to you in the application, and it's only $1. You think, it's only $1. There's over 50,000 of these that have been downloaded. Who's making that money? Who's making that $50,000? And not to mention the QAnon shirts, the QAnon merch. Folks, this is concocted by the group that I am describing to you. Aside from these leftists concocting this QAnon concoction to make right-wing folk look like idiots and conspiracy theorists and, believing in anything. I mean, looking neurotic and looking insane. They're making $1. They're making a quick buck on the stupidity and the naivety of those on the right. I mean, because I'm going to be completely honest with you. Those of you that are QAnon or pro-QAnon, you guys are making us look like idiots. I mean, look, there's a connection right there, dude. He said fucking this, and then this happened, and see the shining sea, and it's just unbelievably, it's garbage. It's garbage. And I can't believe people are falling for this. I can't believe it. I am here to tell each and every one of you, from a capitalist, from somebody who is pro-Trump, who is down with the Make America Great Again. I mean, folks, go back in the archive, baby. We did shit. We aren't out here throwing a bunch of abstract language out here. Why don't you go fucking do some history fucking lessons about the capitalist army and what the fuck we've done? We're not giving any kind of prominence. We're not giving any kind of kudos whatsoever. Nobody talks about the time that we dropped the D.C. Madams list when the judge, some federal judge, refused to allow it to become public. We made it public. Nobody talks about the time that the Black Panthers vowed to go to the 2016 GOP convention armed to the teeth just because in Cleveland, and we stopped them. I'm not going to explain how we stopped them, but we stopped them. The capitalist fucking army stopped them. Is there any fucking recognition for that? No! No, but a couple of furry poet homosexuals can go on to a fucking 4chan and 8chan, make a couple of posts, and have a bunch of morons on the right that they're privy to some inside information of some fucking intelligence officer that's right up the ass of Trump. Look, I'm going to explain to you that QAnon undermines Trump. It undermines Trump and his sacrifices, because Trump didn't have to do... Why would Trump do this if he has to have his hand or have somebody else's hand up his ass? Why would Trump do this? He didn't do it because he has some fucking intelligence officer's hand up his ass called Q-fucking-Annan. It's bullshit! It undermines the sacrifices that Trump is doing to bring the country back into the people's hands. It undermines the sacrifices that this man is bringing upon his life. This man is bringing upon his family. This is imminent danger. He risks losing his entire family wealth. I mean, take a look at the amount of hatred that is directed towards him and his family's way, just because he wanted to go against the status quo and bring back America into the people's hands, because that's exactly what he's done. But no, you've got stupid left-wing homosexual furry liberals in some kind of a brainstorming operation on the internet, in some Discord chat and some forum posts, that are out here that are trying to give credence to some illusionary anonymous character that supposedly the hand that's puppeteering Trump. I mean, it just completely undermines Trump. And I'm not going to sit here and put up with this. All right, you people that are a part of the whole QAnon movement, you people are nuts. You are no different than these fucking leftists. You are no different than Black Lives Matter. You're no different than Antifa. You are no different than white nationalists, all right? You're no different than these people. We want to live in civil society. We understand there is certain elements within the highest levels of elitism that incorporate a nefarious and maybe a dark spiritual connotation to it. But let's not be bullshitting around here. I mean, it negates, this whole QAnon thing negates Trump's sacrifice and his willingness to put him, his family, his wealth, and his life on the line in an attempt to bring the country back into the people's hands and to save the sovereignty and the continuity of America. We dox QAnon, you assholes, all right? He's a leftist, homosexual furry. And from our investigations, there is no evidence of this guy being right-wing whatsoever, ever in his life, ever. Ever. I mean, not to mention the person that is posting these QAnon posts is also got a record a mile long. I mean, do you understand that, you know, the guy that you think that is this military intelligence guy that's got his hand shoved up the president's ass, this guy who's actually posted the post has got a record a mile long. I mean, one of the charges is that he brought a controlled substance onto the premise of a child care center. This is QAnon, right? This is QAnon. I wonder where all the money is going for the QAnon apps and the QAnon shirts and the QAnon this and the QAnon that. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I should sell something QAnon. I should just pretend I'm QAnon. How about that? I'm QAnon. All right? You know, I mean, I mean, this is just, it's a silly game. It's a silly fucking game. Look, I'm tired of you QAnon people. I'm serious. You people, why don't you just become leftists, because you're just as lunatic as they are. And by the way, did you hear about that supposed package that ended up at the offices of Maxine Waters? It said, you know, here's anthrax or something on the note that was attached to whatever package. It said, here's anthrax, and it was signed QAnon. I'm not joking. I mean, you see where this is going, folks? You see now? I'm not kidding around. This report that Maxine Waters, having some kind of suspicious package delivered at her headquarters, at her offices, had some note written on it saying, hey, you know, hope you like the anthrax. Signed, QAnon. This is where this is going. I knew this, all right? I knew this. I knew it. I knew this was coming, folks. You see, this is what these leftists are trying to induce. And you people, because I guess it's the romanticism of being a part of something that you think that nobody else knows about, right? It's like, no, man, I'm being informed by QAnon. QAnon is giving me the inside information about what's going on a military intelligence basis. He keeps saying something's going to drop, something's going to drop, something's going to... That's what he says all the fucking time. Something's going to drop. And guess what? QAnon predicted that. Yeah, QAnon predicted... I mean, it's insane. It's utterly insane, man. And I'm tired of it. And another thing I'm tired of, and look, I'm only going to put about 5 minutes into this, and we're going to cryptocurrency, and then we're going to talk about stocks. I want to talk about this girl from the Bronx, man. I'm a girl from the Bronx, bitch. I'm talking none other than the socialist slutbag of the hour. I'm talking about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. This broad who's a socialist out here who is campaigning with Uncle Bernie out in Kansas and other parts of the heartland. I want to bring up two things. First of all, we all remember when I covered that she looked and sounded like a complete idiot when she tried to give her opinion on the Israel-Palestinian situation, calling Israel an occupation even though Palestine was never a fucking country! Okay, first and foremost, okay? And then when she was pushed on to elaborate on her perspective, she finally admitted, you know, I'm not an expert on geopolitics, so, oops. Okay, aside from that, she was recently quoted as saying that capitalism wasn't always around and it's not going to be around. And then when she was pushed on that, because the interviewer was suggesting, well, how can you say that capitalism is bad? We've got low unemployment. This Ocasio-Cortez, this bitch from the block, this bitch from the Bronx, or whatever the fuck she is, all right? This Puerto Rican cockroach scumbag, this socialist slut hole, she actually says, in response to low unemployment in America, that the reason that there is low unemployment is because most people in America have two jobs. Yeah, most people in America have two jobs. So that's why there's low unemployment in America. I mean, do you understand? I mean, there's 2 points I want to make when it comes to this stupid dunce. First of all, this is a testament of the millennial generation. They have all this talk, a lot of hot air. They think they know all this knowledge and wisdom, and then when you sit them down and try to ask them to articulate their grievances or their perspective, you begin to realize that they don't know shit from Shinola. And this is predominant amongst not just the millennials. I'm going to throw this back all the way to Generation X, because most Generation Xers are really just as stupid and oblivious as these millennials. I mean, as a matter of fact, you still got Generation Xers out here still living with mom, for Christ's sake. Still living with mom, smoking pot, playing PlayStation 4. You know what I mean? Getting their thumbs bruised on fucking video games. And, you know, I'm 40 years old, dude. I'm listening to Nirvana, dude. Yeah, dude, Nirvana, dude. I'm listening to... Shut the fuck up, man. Where's the leadership? Where's the transition of leadership? I'm talking about generational transition of leadership. I have yet to see it. I mean, take a look at who's leading the parties at this point in time. Nancy Plastic Face Pelosi, late 70s. You got Chuck Kick the American People in the Balls Schumer, another 70-year-old fart. You got Mitch McConnell, 70-something-year-old fart. And what do you got? You got like fourth-generation money Paul Ryan. I mean, Paul Ryan, I'm glad that he's not seeking re-election. I'm glad that he's stepping down as House Speaker because this idiot is a globalist. This guy is literally third or fourth generation money. He literally had nothing. I mean, we talked about this on shows back in 2016 when he thought he was going to usurp the presidency or the nomination from the GOP. Y'all remember that? We talked about this guy doing absolutely nothing. His father croaked, and he literally lived on the trusts that were inherited by his father. And lo and behold, he was able to pay for his college, and he was able to pay for his first election on his little municipal election. Then he was able to, I mean, he literally is disconnected from average, everyday American people. And I'm glad that he's going away, and I hope we never hear from Paul Ryan again, because he is a useless man when it comes to governing anybody. He doesn't give a shit. He's a complete sociopath, just like Obama. The only difference is Obama is a better acting sociopath. I mean, I have to be honest, man. Obama was a slick sociopath. And I want to be honest with you. I hate to go off on this tirade about Obama, but just from observing Obama here, I think that he's had enough of politics. I think that, he's had enough of it. He was told to do things for his masters that he had to do. Because remember, he campaigned that he was going to help the PO, and everybody's mortgage was going to be paid, and there was not going to be any bills, and we're going to bail out this. And lo and behold, the only people that he bailed out was the banks and the credit card companies and the corporations that donated to his campaign contribution account, etc. And he had to lie to the people. For 8 years, he had to go out there and lie. He would tell the people one thing and go and do another thing and come back and say, well, look, even though I did the wrong thing, it's still right? Because I'm black. However he was able to persuade them. I don't know how they persuaded him. But anyway, you notice that Obama is staying away from the political scene in the midterm elections in 2018. This guy's out here hanging out with Richard Branson at his island somewhere. He's out there playing butt pirate pool with goddamn George Clooney. I mean, he's out there. I mean, he's got a $250 million Netflix deal. I mean, what the fuck does he want to play this stupid political game anymore? And every Democratic journalist or so-called op-ed piece guy, whatever you want to call these people, the lamestream media, they're begging him to come and campaign for the Democrats. Because the Democrats have no leadership. They have no guidance. They don't know where the hell to go. They know if Obama was out campaigning for people, that he would be able to galvanize the base and be able to have people motivated to vote. But Obama's staying away. He's staying completely out of the political scene in America, and I find that ironic. Don't you think? I find it very ironic. But anyway, back to Ocasio-Cortez, okay? She claims that the reason that we're having low unemployment in America is because most Americans have 2 jobs. Even though that's not how employment is counted, you stupid broad. But that's what she thinks. This is your typical millennial. Now, aside from her, age and her generational status, what I hate is that, once again, I talked about this several shows back about how women, whenever they fail, they're celebrated, they're championed, they're given opportunities when they fail. And Ocasio-Cortez is yet another example. How many times does this stupid bitch from the Bronx, this girl from the Bronx who ain't even from the Bronx, how many times is she going to have to be proven contradicted, proven lying, proven an idiot before people start realizing that, we need to call this for what it is. This is ignorant, stupid, moronic, millennial with a pipe dream with no substance whatsoever. And I think the reason that she's not taking as much criticism as she should is because she's a woman. And I talk about this with Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey, she's the most successful she's ever been when she got knocked on her ass. She got knocked on her ass by that Holly broad, Holly Holmes. I mean, just cold-cocked her. And you know what? She couldn't even be a good sports person. I'm not even going to say sportsman, a good sports person, and stick around after Ronda Rousey got her ass knocked out. She couldn't even stick around and shake the hands of Holly Holmes after she got her ass knocked out because,
oh, I'm a woman. I don't like facing up to my responsibilities. I don't like losing, so I'm just going to go to my room. I'm just going to run away, damn it.
And here they're celebrating her failure, man. We should not have ever heard from Ronda Rousey again. She should be doing what Stormy Daniels is doing right now. You know, going to strip clubs and, you know, shitting, you throw $5 at her and she'll, you know, shit out $2 in quarters out of her twat so she can give you change. That's what Ronda Rousey should be doing in a fucking strip club. She shouldn't be out here, oh, let's go ahead and give her $1 million deal and put her on fucking WWE. Oh, let's go ahead and give her commercials. Let's just continue. Let's celebrate her. Let's give her money. Oh, this is not what happens to men that fail, okay? You know what happens to men that fail? They end up in the gutter and people spit on them. They laugh at them. They point at them. And you know what men have to do? They either have to stay there and wither and die, or they get up and try again. But no. Oh, man, Ronda Rousey, Ocasio-Cortez over here, I mean, because they're women, they get, I mean, how many mulligans do these bitches get? I mean, how many mulligans do they get? You know, in a round of golf, in a friendly round of golf, you're only allowed one mulligan, which means you get to take back one bad fucking shot. That's it, one! Even in golf, you only have one fucking mulligan. How many mulligans are we going to give these broads? I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of women talking about equality this, equality that. There's nothing equal about this shit. And I'm tired of it. If you are a failure as a woman, then we should just tell it how it is. We should not be politically correct and worry about,
oh my God, how can you talk about that? Like, that's a woman.
Well, you women wanted equal rights. You're getting it. But there's nothing equal. Like I said, Ocasio-Cortez, I mean, she could be dumber than a box of rocks, and yet we're still celebrating her as the fucking supposed future of the Democratic Party. I mean, it's a joke. Only women can get away with stupidity. Only women are championing when they're failures. And we need to stop this shit. We need to stop this shit. When women fail, we need to rub it in their fucking face. Just like the world rubs it in men's face when we fucking fail. Let me tell you something, man. I guarantee you, I'm talking to men out there who have failed many times. And were you given an opportunity because you failed? No, you were spit in your face. You were laughed at. You're like, ha ha, you failed. You suck. You had to take the ridicule. You had to take the finger pointing. Ronda Rousey does it, and you know who else? This Danica Patrick bitch. I'm sick and tired of seeing Danica fucking Patrick, okay? I mean, you know, let's be honest, okay? I don't even think she won anything as an IndyCar racer. And if she did, it was like one insignificant little Prix or something. Then she gets moved to NASCAR and wins nothing. Absolutely nothing. She just happens to be the first woman driver. She's the first woman driver. And, I mean, how long was she at NASCAR, really? Like a few years. Then she, quote, retires, winning absolutely nothing. And now she's getting ad deals with GoDaddy.com. I can't see her. I see her all over the fucking TV. She's hosting the ESPYs. I mean, who made this fucking call? She's hosting the ESPYs? I mean, folks, are y'all understanding what I'm saying? I'm certain that there are some women out there that understand that.
You know what? Ghost has got a point. I mean, why are we celebrating women that are failing? I mean, if they're failures, they're fucking failures. We should just say, hey, bitch, you failed. Fuck you.
But no, we're celebrating failure. And we need to stop it. When it comes to women failing, we need to spit in their face. We need to go, ha ha, just like they do to men if they want equality. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. And the same goes for this Ocasio-Cortez. I mean, when are we going to finally realize that, hey, look, I mean, she's a dunce. She's an idiot. Okay, if she was able to out-primary a 9-term incumbent congressman in whatever New York district, then there's something wrong with the people in the district, okay? That means everybody in the district is a complete moron, collecting entitlements or whatever the case might be. I mean, that's why she was able to do it. And you know what? The Democrat that she out-primaried is running as an independent anyway. So Ocasio-Cortez, you know what she's doing right now? That's why she's campaigning with Bernie. She knows she's not going to win. So what she's doing is trying to raise as much money as she can so that when she's no longer in politics and she loses it, she can put it right in her goddamn pussy pouch. I'm serious. She can put it right in her pocket. Anyway, folks, let's go ahead and stop talking about this stupid, dumbass Puerto Rican, because we're going to talk about Puerto Rico later anyway. I don't want to talk about some Puerto Rican socialist slutbag. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about cryptocurrency and the stock market, shall we? Now, folks, like I've been saying, we saw a little bit of an increase in the cryptocurrency markets. There were a lot of factors for that. We talked about some of them on Monday. Obviously, we're seeing a contraction in the U.S. dollar. But right now, we're seeing a contraction even though we're seeing a slight dip in the U.S. dollar. And I think that the contraction that we're seeing here in the market is not due to anything in reaction to the negativity to the dollar. We're seeing a lot of profit taking. And the reason I know that we're seeing a lot of profit taking in the cryptocurrency markets is because you're seeing a lot of people selling and putting it into really odd coins in an attempt to pump or lure other investors into that pump so that they can continue to solidify the liquidity that they have made during this gain. Now, in the past 24 to 48 hours, we've seen the market capitalization of cryptocurrency bounce around from about $293 up to about $300 billion. Right now, folks, the current market capitalization of the entire cryptocurrency market is $299 billion market capitalization. Now, once again, I don't think that the contraction that we're currently seeing has anything to do with anything other than profit taking. I mean, this is a very fickle market. Anybody who's been involved in this market knows that it can fall down on a dime. So you could tell that many people are taking profits. But because you've got a dip in the U.S. dollar, you've got more money coming in as people are trying to get out. So that's why we're seeing such a bouncy resistance from about $293 to about $300 billion market capitalization. And I don't know if you've been keeping or reading up with the grapevine of most cryptocurrency news, but a lot of cryptocurrency investors are starting to realize and believe that this is the next bull run here in cryptocurrency. And I think I believe it this time. I think that we're starting to see it. Now, once again, we want to take a little bit of consideration into what the Federal Reserve is going to say next week. Next week, the Federal Reserve announces whether or not they're going to raise interest rates once again, and that is going to be very interesting. I am glad that the president has called out the Federal Reserve and said, look, we need to hold off on some of these interest rate hikes, considering that we're just getting out of a goddamn 8-year recession in Obama. I mean, we never got out of the recession during Obama, folks, and the proof is in the GDP numbers, the gross domestic product numbers. I mean, during Obama, we were getting like percentile, like decimal point type growth of GDP. Like decimal point percentile growth. Now, folks, we're on the way to 4 to 5% growth in gross domestic product. And that proves that we're getting the hell out of the recession of 2009. Lowest unemployment in, 60 years or something? We've got lowest unemployment for African Americans or blacks in history. Lowest unemployment for Latins in history. Lowest unemployment for women in 60 years. I mean, the employment market is booming, folks. I mean, if you want to go out and work, I mean, there are a plethora of jobs that you can go out there and get hired for, folks. It is time to go out and make some money. I mean, there are more jobs available than there are people looking for jobs in Trump's America, and that's an absolute fact, folks. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about cryptocurrency. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Now, we have seen a rise in Bitcoin. Didn't I tell you this was coming? I told you all for the past several weeks that this was coming, that we were going to see an increase in Bitcoin, and it was going to be a gradual increase. Like I said, I still think that we're going to see a run that goes as high, at least in my perspective, from my analysis, $15,000. And I think we're going to see a lot of resistance in $15,000. And the reason I'm suggesting that is, lest we forget, at the time that we saw Bitcoin be very, very hyper-sensationally hyped in the media is when the market capitalization of the entire market reached close to $800 billion. I mean, that was in this past January. If you take a look at the charts of whatever crypto, the highest point of most cryptos was in this past January when the market capitalization was reaching $800 billion market cap. Okay? Now, because of that, that was the time when people were getting into the Bitcoin craze, the Bitcoin hype. People were putting mortgages on their houses so that they could get fucking Bitcoin at $15,000, $16,000, $17,000. And in my personal opinion, that the $15,000, $16,000 mark is when we started seeing that type of hyper-sensationalism, and that's what we saw the over-speculation go up to 20,000, and 20,000 was that point of resistance where we saw people sell off. Now, in my view, when we go up in this next run-up, because we have a lot of people who bought in at around the $15,000, $16,000, $17,000 range, I think you're going to have a lot of people pulling the plug once they hit about 15,000, taking their money or run, taking their losses, being lucky that they're able to even get 15,000. You're going to see a lot of people selling off at 15,000. And whether or not there's going to be enough buyers to suffice that sell-off, it remains to be seen. That's why I'm suggesting that 15,000 is my price point for Bitcoin. Now, let's just say for the sake of argument that there's enough buyers to suffice those that are selling off at 15,000, 16,000, and let's say it gets up to 20,000. As soon as it gets up to 20,000, folks, Bitcoin could potentially go up to 30 or 40,000 very instantaneously because we have sold out everybody who is holding the bag at 20,000 bucks. And you know as well as I, if we do hit those prices, guess who's going to be pumping that in the media? The business media, the CNBCs, you know, the Bloombergs. So, as I've been stating time and time again when describing Bitcoin, Bitcoin will go up, but the only reason it's going up, folks, is because of over-speculation. There's nothing else providing any source of value to this currency, cryptocurrency, other than over-speculation. That's it. That's it. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at it because we did see a run up to it. We saw it go as high as almost 8,300. Saw it go as high as almost 8,300 for Christ's sake, man. Let's go ahead and take a look at the current price of Bitcoin. BTC is the symbol. Current market capitalization is $140 billion market cap. The circulating supply is 17.1 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Bitcoin has gone down 1.96%. Like I said, we're selling off right now. We're selling off, and the reason I say we're selling off is because if this was a major contraction, it would have gone down in double-digit percentages by this time. And lest we forget, I forgot to cover the dollar index. The dollar index spot right now for the U.S. dollar is down. It's down 0.12%. So at some point in time, when people stop taking profits in the cryptocurrency market, because the U.S. dollar is contracting in value, we should see another run here in the next 24 hours. So anyway, with that being said, we're seeing some sell-off. So Bitcoin is down 1.96% decrease in the past 24 hours. Bitcoin price, $8,186.69 per Bitcoin. You're goddamn right. And look, since we're talking about Bitcoin, folks, you all know that you get to mine Bitcoin, which means that you can use your hardware, specifically a graphics card, to be able to mine Bitcoin and that sort of thing. Well, for those that don't understand the complexities of how to get a Bitcoin miner, understand how to use your graphics card, or you don't understand anything. If you want a solution where, man, I just want to be able to download an app, run the app, and set it and forget it, and we're mining cryptocurrency, we're mining Bitcoin, I've just found a new service. I'm not kidding around. This is for those of you that you want to get into Bitcoin, you want to get into mining it. You got like a spare laptop, you got a spare computer around, and you can keep it on for 24 hours and just let it run. You can keep this program, this application, you download it, you run it, and just let it run. That's it. It's as simple as that, and you're mining Bitcoin. I'm not kidding around. It's that simple. Now, for those folks that are interested in this, I'm going to gab the link to go and check this out for yourself. It is absolutely free. There's nothing to buy. It's free to download this application. So all you got to do, check out my gab. Look at my gab, all right? I'm going to post it on the gab here. Hold on, what the hell's taking Gab so long here? What is Gab doing? What am I being covered by the feds? What's going on? Come on, Gab! How come it's not going through? Anyway, folks, let me go ahead and let me close out this window. Let me go back to Gab. Is something going on with Gab here? No, Gab's good. All right, let me go ahead and oh, we got the link. The link it was posted. My bad. Anyway, check out the link on my Gab right now. Start mining Bitcoin right now. No experience. You don't need any mining experience. If you don't get it, it doesn't matter. All you got to do is download that program right there, let it run, and you're mining Bitcoin. You know what I mean? I'm not even kidding. Even if you just got a regular computer, even if you're just somebody who leaves your computer on all the time, why not let it run and make it Bitcoin? I'm not kidding around. Anyway, take a look at my Gab. Get that link. It's a brand new service. All right, brand new. So, take a look at it. They came to me. They're like, hey, Ghost, we know you're a cryptocurrency guy. Take a look at our services here and let me know what you think. I said, man, this is great. Are you kidding me? I mean, people who don't understand, like, hey, I've got to get a badass graphics card, and I've got to get all this, and I got to get that. And I mean, what this does, from what I understand, this service, click the link, by the way, it's free. You get Bitcoin just for downloading it. I mean, that's how gangster this I'm not kidding. That's how gangster this service is. I mean, you get Bitcoin just for downloading it. What it is that it's creating a large pool of people utilizing the hardware that they have, and they split the money of mining amongst the pool. So everybody kind of gets paid. Everybody gets paid out here. You know what I'm saying? Everybody makes actual money. And, of course, you're paid in Bitcoin, folks. And, Bitcoin's going higher. That's why I'm covering Bitcoin. That's why I'm suggesting if you got a spare laptop, you know what I'm saying? If you got a spare laptop, this is for, like, people who don't have the hardware necessary to be able to do it. I think it's a great service. All right? I'm not even kidding. I think it's a great service. It's a set it and forget it. So with that being said, I hope that y'all use that, and I hope that y'all, even if you're not into Bitcoin, man, just think. If you're somebody who leaves your computer on all the time anyway, just leave the application on. Let it mine for you. Get a few bucks on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is accepted in places for retail. Bitcoin is accepted on, Newegg, which is a computer electronics outlet online. I mean, I'm not joking around. Pretty good stuff, man. Anyway, take a look at it. I'm just giving you the services that are now coming out that should, especially you guys that don't know crypto, this is your opportunity to kind of check it out and say, you know what, I'm going to download the app. Oh, man, I got Bitcoin for downloading the app. Let me go ahead and run it. I'm running it, and, make some money every day. Anyway, look, I'm going overboard. It's already 7:24. Let me go ahead and go through this cryptocurrency. Then we're going to get to the stocks. Let me get some goddamn H2O before we do this. And yes, by the way, I have continued no drinking. We're almost on a month, baby. We're almost on a month, and you know what? I'm gonna continue to go because you got to clean out, man. You can't destroy your body, you know. All right, you can't destroy your body. Hey, everybody, calm down. Everybody's timing out the gateway. Everybody and their brothers downloading it. Hey, everybody, calm down. I mean, that just goes to show you how many people are listening to the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, especially during the cryptocurrency hour. All right, just take a look at it, folks. Don't worry. It's probably hold on. Let me see what's going on here. Let me see if I can get to it. Hold on, I'm looking to see if I can get to this cryptocurrency situation here. Yeah, it looks as if they're getting a lot of traffic. It looks like it's getting a lot of traffic now. Anyway, take a look at it, folks. It'll work eventually. My apologies, man. Anyway, let's continue going. My apologies. Let me move on to the next cryptocurrency here. We've got Ethereum, ETH. That's the next cryptocurrency. Now, you got a lot of people betting against Ethereum. Have you heard about that in the grapevine? Got a lot of cryptocurrency investors betting against Ethereum. And, yeah, it's very, very interesting to say the least. So let's go ahead and look, I think that we're going to see a run on ETH. All right, I think that we're going to see a run on ETH. Let's go ahead but it's going to be short term. I'm not long term on ETH. Everybody remembers that. $47 billion market cap for ETH. Circulating supply is 100 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Ethereum has gone down 0.91%. Current price for Ethereum, the symbol is ETH, $473.30 per Ethereum. Let's get to Bitcoin Cash. What have I told you about Bitcoin Cash? I like this one here for at least a 6 month hold on Bitcoin Cash. All right, BCH is the symbol. Current market capitalization is $14 billion market capitalization. The circulating supply is 17.2 million in circulation for Bitcoin Cash. In the past 24 hours, we have seen some sell-off for Bitcoin Cash. It is down 3.49%. Current price for Bitcoin Cash, symbol BCH, $833.61. Remember, we saw Bitcoin Cash as low as about $600 here recently. I hope that you all entertained that as a short-term play at minimal. Let's go ahead and get to Litecoin, symbol LTC. Current market capitalization for Litecoin is $4.9 billion market cap. The current circulating supply is 57 million in circulation for Litecoin. In the past 24 hours, Litecoin has gone down slightly, 2.81%. Current price for Litecoin, symbol LTC, $86.30. I mean, that's still over $80. Still over $80, still holding steady Litecoin, but still, I don't like what Charlie Lee's doing. I don't know if y'all have read here recently, but Charlie Lee is now working with banking systems. He's working with the banks? Working with the banks? I mean, I thought that cryptocurrency and the whole concept was for decentralization, was for anti-banking. You can be your own bank. So I don't know what the fuck Charlie Lee's doing, man. You know me and Charlie Lee. I don't like the son of a bitch. I think he's an autistic tard, and somebody needs to blindfold this Chinaman with dental floss for his own fucking good. Let's go ahead and get to Monero, folks. XMR. What do I like to say about Monero? It likes to run, baby. It's a shortened pattern trading play. I mean, you can gain major liquidity in Monero. XMR, current market cap is $2.3 billion market cap. Current circulating supply is 16.2 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Monero has gone down 2.97%. Current price for Monero, symbol XMR, $142.82 per Monero. Let's get to Dash, folks. DASH. Current market capitalization for Dash is $2 billion market cap. The circulating supply is 8.2 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, we have seen sell-offs on Dash. It is down 3.36%. Current price for Dash, folks, $244.32 per Dash. And what did I tell you about the cryptocurrency markets now? This is pure sell-off. This is not a contraction based upon an increase in the U.S. dollar. This is a temporary, in my view, a very temporary sell-off. We should see this over $300 billion here in the next 12 to 15 hours. Okay, because this is obviously just some sell-off relating to taking profits, not a massive sell-off or a reactionary sell-off, which usually leaves the whole goddamn market bloody with double-digit percentile losses on the day. So this is not that case, all right? Anyway, folks, we are now in the second hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, and of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost, and once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. Before we get started on anything else, I'd like to remind everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire and let everybody you know, let them know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house. And we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, and it is ghost.report. All right, it's as simple as that. All right, it's as simple as that. That's all you have to type in your browser, and make sure to add it to your bookmarks and to your favorites, ghost.report. Now that we got that out of the way, I would like to remind everybody to please follow me on my only social media in the internet today, and I'm talking about Gab, folks. If you don't have yourself a Gab account, well, then I don't know what the hell you're doing. It is the last bastion of freedom of speech on the internet today. I strongly advise everybody to get a Gab account. If you don't know where to go to get one, well, then type in your browser right now. Type in your browser, gab.ai. That's gab.ai, and you can follow me on that particular social media under the name Politics Ghost. All right, all one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. All right. And by the way, I want to say what's going on to the True Capitalist Radio chat room that's listening to me live right now on this Wednesday evening. What's going on, baby? That's right, folks. If you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, all you got to do is go to my Gab account right now. All right, right now. Go to my Gab. Check out my Gab. Go to my Gab account and click the subscribe button for premium content. All right? Click the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name. It's that damn simple, okay? That's it. All right? And by the way, folks, speaking of which, I talked a little bit about how there's an easy solution for you to mine. Let's say you're one of these folks that are being persecuted like yours truly, and you're being demonetized, you're being kicked off of platforms, you know what I'm saying? You're getting kicked off of servers, of web hosting. Take a look at ghost.report. As you can see on the side there, it says Bitcoin hosting. Folks, I found a hosting solution where you can literally be completely anonymous and host a website. Can you believe this? You can be completely anonymous and host a website and pay it by Bitcoin. All right? I'm not even joking around, man. I mean, and not to mention, folks, these servers are offshore. They're in a country where they're not going to be censored. So if you've got some so-called little risque content, they're not going to be able to take it down. I mean, it is beautiful. Folks, if you haven't seen the link on ghost.report, it's right there where it's on the side right there where it says Bitcoin hosting. Click that link right there, and it'll give you some information on where to get some hosting where you can host your own website completely anonymous. No piss and blood test. And you can pay by Bitcoin, baby. I'm telling you, I'm giving you the 411 on where to go when it comes to cryptocurrency and where you can take advantage of your cryptocurrency, baby. That's what I'm here for. That's what I do. Anyway, let's go ahead and continue on, folks, with some cryptocurrency coverage, and then we're going to move into the stock market coverage. Let's go ahead and talk about Dash. We already talked about Dash. Let's talk a little bit about Zcash. What have I told you all about Zcash? I told you all I like Zcash. I like it a lot. And the reason I like it, folks, is because, first of all, there should be no reason why this coin is not $1,000 plus by the end of the year. I mean, there's low circulation. It's a privacy-oriented coin. They just updated their blockchain, which was on a hard fork. It is up to date. I'm telling you this right now, folks. I like Zcash, baby. And let me tell you, if you've been holding Zcash, if you bought Zcash when it was at the hundreds, $160, $170 range, you made some profits in the past couple of days, all right? Let's take a look at Zcash, all right? ZEC is the symbol. Current market capitalization for Zcash is $1 billion market cap. The circulating supply is $4.4 billion. The circulating supply is 4.4 billion in circulation. 4.4 million. Jesus Christ, shut up! Sorry, I'm multitasking. 4.4 million. And that's why I like Zcash, because it has a low circulation of 4.4 million. I mean, we're not even going to see 5 or 6 million for a couple of years. So 4.4 million. I like Zcash. I've got a few of them already. And I'm waiting for these sons of bitches to go up and up and up. I want to see these things over $1,000 by the end of the year. And remember, folks, this Zcash has gone as high as $800 a coin. So we're bound to head at least in that direction at the very minimal. Once again, in the past 24 hours, Zcash has gone up 2.39%. Current price for Zcash, folks, is $227.72 per Zcash. Let's get to Quantum, folks. Once again, my biggest holding, QTUM is the symbol, folks. Once again, I strongly advise you to take a look into this coin. It is the future. It is the future of smart contracting, the future of decentralized applications, the future token of the world, if you want my view. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Current market capitalization of Quantum is $720 million market cap. The current circulating supply for Quantum is 88 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, Quantum has gone down slightly, 0.14% decrease. Current price for Quantum, symbol QTUM, $8.13 per Quantum. And look, the reason that we like Quantum and we continue to get it, aside from our anticipation of it going up very high in price, it pays a great proof of stake. I mean, if you've got anything over 100 Quantum and you're holding it in your Quantum Core wallet, and, you have to leave the Quantum Core wallet open and you got to leave it on in your computer the whole time, you can make anywhere from 5 to 6, possibly 6.5 Quantum if you have over 100 Quantum sitting in it. I'm not even kidding. I mean, it depends on a couple of factors, but I mean, I'm telling you, that's why, we're getting proof of stake. I mean, that's better than most 401ks, baby. Let me go ahead and take a sip of this water here. That's better than most 401ks. Let's go ahead and get to 0x. What have I told you all about 0x, baby? All right, I've been telling you all about this ever since Coinbase acquired Paradox. Of course, Paradox utilized the blockchain technology of 0x in its exchange, so you knew that, there was going to be something happening with 0x. Let's take a look at it. ZRX is the symbol. Current market cap, $632 million market cap. The circulating supply is 536 million in circulation. In the past 24 hours, 0x has gone up 5.31% increase. The current price for 0x is $1.18 per 0x. Let me go ahead and move on to the stock market, folks, because I'm looking at the time. I'm like, man, I'm going overboard, so let's just go ahead and get right into the stock markets. And now the stock markets did pretty good today, And the reason is, folks, is because of the president. If you didn't see, the EU president came over to the White House today to discuss trade with President Trump, and it seems as if they've come to an agreement. It seems as if they've come to some kind of tentative deal. And that deal is they're going to try to work hard for the zero tariff policy that has been promoted by President Trump. So it's a good sign, and Wall Street heard the speech. It was at the end of the day's trading. And if you take a look at today's chart, that's when all the profits came in, baby. Take a look at that chart. Right when the president came out with Juncker, all right, and in the press conference announced that the EU and the United States are working out a trade deal, and you know the EU understands that, look, we don't want any tariffs, so they're working on it. It was a positive sign. And as you can see, Wall Street rewarded it because they all put their money back in on a buy. Take a look at that chart at the end of the day. Good God. Good God. Anyway, let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial. It was up today, and it went up at the very end of the day. It was up 172.16 points, a percentage increase of 0.68%. Closing out the Dow Jones Industrial at 25,414.10 points for the Dow Jones Industrial. Same thing, same story for the S&P. There at the end of the day at the press conference of the President of the EU, Juncker, and the President of the United States coming to an agreement, a tentative agreement, to end this tariff standoff. It made the Wall Street guys happy, and they bought in at the end of the day. So S&P 500 ended up on the plus side, 25.67 points, a percentage increase of 0.91%, closing out the S&P at 2,846.07 points for the S&P 500. We've got the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is up, but it's no thanks to Facebook. Did you hear that they missed their quarterly expectations for earnings, and they are down 20-something% in the goddamn aftermarket? It is bad, and it couldn't have happened to a better company, if you want my personal opinion, especially after that pompous-ass testimony by Mark Zuckerberg in Congress, basically lying, outright fucking lying that, we didn't sell your information. Bullshit. And let me tell you, if you're a stockholder of Facebook, you better be demanding that they remove Zuckerberg, all right? Remove Zuckerberg! All right, remove that son of a bitch, just like they removed poor Papa John from his company, all right? They removed Papa John because, he said a word, he said one word, and that, they stripped him of the company that he founded. But, Zuckerberg can go out here and cost people billions. I mean, 20% of a Facebook. I mean, just imagine how many people have Facebook in their 401ks and their portfolios. Just imagine. A lot of people took losses today if you're holding Facebook, man. I'm telling you that. That's billions of dollars, right? That's billions of dollars lost. Remove Zuckerberg like they removed Papa John. Papa John didn't do nothing. Papa John, a good boy, he didn't do nothing. Free Papa John, baby. Papa John, a good boy, he didn't do nothing. Can't believe they removed Papa John. He didn't do nothing. If they're going to remove Papa John, remove Zuckerberg. Remove Zuckerberg, boy. But even as Zuckerberg's, misses the expectation, it still closed the NASDAQ up on the plus side. Now, that's probably not going to be the same thing tomorrow. I'm pretty sure that the NASDAQ is, because, Facebook represents the tech stocks, baby. So, that it's going to be reflective of most tech, especially internet companies. So if you're holding anything internet tech-based, watch out. Watch out, baby. Anyway, the NASDAQ is up 91.47 points, a percentage increase of 1.17% increase on the day, closing out the NASDAQ at 7,932.24 points for the NASDAQ composite. I mean, good God, man. We're almost at 8,000 NASDAQ, for heaven's sake, man. Who would have ever have thought? 8,000 goddamn NASDAQ. Good Lord. Anyway, let's continue going here, folks. Let's get to some commodities. Energy. What have I told you about energy here? Now that we're in a precarious war footing in the Middle East, here recently you had the Turkish president, or I should say the Turkish prime minister, I should say, Erdogan. Erdogan's coming out, flexing his nuts, saying he's not going to stop buying oil from Iran. All right, so you all can suck it. So that's going to be very interesting dilemma to deal with in the world market. So I don't know, man. I see a lot of turbulence ahead in this energy market, and if you have an ETF that correlates with energy going up, I think you're in good position right now. You've got analysts talking about the potential of $150, $200 barrel of oil being very probable. I mean, you had one idiot I read in some article claiming that barrels of oil could be $400 a barrel, which I think is ridiculous. But, oil, it's a very tricky game right now. So, keep your eye on it. You know we're going to see some gains. So we shall see what happens. Remember, it's a lot of different characters involved on whether or not the oil markets go up or down. So let's take a look at WTI sweet crude right now. It is up 23 cents, a percentage increase of 0.33%. Current price, I should say, for WTI sweet crude is $69.53 per barrel of WTI sweet crude. We've got Brent crude. It's also up 69 cents, a percentage increase of 0.93%, closing out Brent crude at $74.64 per barrel of Brent crude oil. We've also got gasoline. It is also up, folks, 0.55%. We've got natural gas. It is also up 0.11%. Heating oil is up 0.55%. Let's get to the metals, shall we? The metals! Let's get to the goddamn metals. We've got gold up $1, a percentage increase of 0.08%. Closing out gold at $1,242 even per troy ounce of gold. Let me go ahead and drink some more water here. I had a lot of salt today, you know. I had a high sodium-based lunch and snacks and stuff, man. So always remember, you got to keep track of your sodium. If not, you'll be thirsty the rest of the fucking day. Just FYI. Anyway, silver. Silver is up today 6 cents, a percentage increase of 0.36%. Closing out silver at $15.65 per troy ounce of silver. Copper is up today 1.31%, and platinum is down 0.03%. Let's take a look at grains, folks. Grains. Corn is up 0.87%. Wheat is up 0.74%. Oats is up 0.31%. Rough rice is unchanged on the day. Soybean, we talked about, or as a matter of fact, the president talked about soybean. Guess what? We have a European Union, who that is going to purchase the soybean production that we have. Since we have China throwing a tariff on soybean, we now have a commitment, I should say. I was trying to look for the word in my head. A commitment from the EU that they're going to consume more soybean as an agreement to this talk that Juncker and Trump had today. So we're sending our soy boy... I'm sorry. We're sending our soybeans to the soy boy of Eurocucks. That's what I was going to say. I fucked that whole shit up. But still, I'm glad that we're sending more soy for the Eurocucks, all right? I'm glad. Anyway, let's get to the soft, shall we, all right? We've got cocoa Oh, wait a minute. Wait, soybean. I forgot. We haven't even finished with soybean, for Christ's sake, all right? Soybean is up 1.40%, all right? Obviously, it's up because of the commitment we have from the EU. They want to consume soy. You know what I mean? They want to consume that soy, baby. More soy for Euro cuck boys. All right, who else we got? We got soybean oil. All right, it is up 0.17%. Canola is also up 0.08%. Let's get to the softs now, all right? We've got cocoa, the base for chocolate. It is down 0.53%. Coffee.
Hey, dude, don't talk to me unless I have my coffee, dude, okay? Yeah, don't talk to me unless I have my fucking coffee. I want my coffee. Don't talk to me, okay?
Shut up! Anyway, we got coffee up today, 0.05% increase on the day. We got sugar! Sugar is unchanged on the day, folks. We've got orange juice. Orange juice is up 0.98%. Cotton is up 1.46% increase for cotton. Good God. We've got lumber up today, 0.98%. Rubber is down 0.42%. And ethanol is up 0.78%. Let's get to livestock, shall we? We got live cattle. It is up 0.41%. Cattle feeder is up 0.05%. And before we get to lean hogs, folks, I'd like to remind everybody to please pay it forward and continue the ham bone movement. We got to make America beautiful again. And look, the only reason I'm telling you to do this, and I'm telling you to do this to these people that take these hover-rounds of these grocery stores and these shopping malls so that they can ride their asses all over the place. You know, they're so fat in the ass. Now, don't get me wrong. If there's somebody that has no legs or something or has a, an impairment of actually walking, then don't do that to those people. But if it's just some fat, jelly-ass, greasy ham bone, then don't confront them. Don't talk garbage to them. Don't harass them. Just pass by them. Just pass by them. But as you're passing by them, say this to them. Ham bone. Fat, greasy-ass, stinky-ass, smelly ham bone. I mean, I'm telling you, they will eventually get the fucking point. They'll get the point. I'm sick of these damn fucking Snorlaxes, man. You know what I'm talking about? These people in these fucking hover-rounds, they back up. They back up in the middle of the fucking island. Beep, 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 beep. I want to kick these fat asses over. Anyway, lean hog, folks, is up, all right? Lean hog is up 2.67% on the day. Good God. Oh, my God, 2.67% on the day, and that, my friends, is the markets for your ass, all right? Good God. Anyway, my apologies for taking so much time on the markets, but I had to say what I had to say at the beginning of the broadcast. Let me go ahead and take another sip of this water. I'm going to need more fucking water here, for Christ's sake, man. I'm drinking water like I'm a water fountain, and before you know it, I'm going to have to get up to take a fucking piss or something in the middle of the goddamn show. Anyway, let me go ahead and take a drink of water, for Christ's sake, all right? Look, at least it's not any kind of alcoholic beverage, all right? You know that yours truly stopped drinking, all right? As a matter of fact, I'm going to keep not drinking at fucking least, for 3 months, at least. Look, I mean, maybe that's not feasible. Maybe, I'm only going to be a month, whatever, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me go ahead and take a swig of this. Good stuff, baby, good stuff. Anyway, let's get right into the nitty-gritty of the broadcast, folks. Let's talk a little bit about the President of the United States. All right, now, we talked about how the president announced based president, even though everybody is, for whatever reason, making much to do about nothing as it pertains to the Trump-Putin summit. Like I have said over and over and over again, that the president didn't capitulate. He didn't say that he was going to give anything. There was no signing. It was a nothing burger. It was nothing more than to establish diplomacy between a superpower, and like the president said, Russia and the United States comprise of 90% of the world's nuclear arsenal. I mean, so it's in the United States' interest to at least have diplomatic channels on a respectful basis, not on an ally basis, not on a friendship basis, but on a respect basis so that the Cold War doesn't reappear and we're not in a nuclear confrontation to any capacity. But of course, folks, if you want my personal opinion, you've got the media trying to sabotage this whole progress that the president is making when it comes to his diplomacy, not just with Russia, but with everybody. With everybody. And you know, at this point, this is why I continue to say that the media is completely weaponized. It's a completely weaponized media. I mean, you know, remember when the North Korean situation, and we're going to talk about North Korea later on the broadcast, but you all remember when in North Korea, when they were, and I'm talking about the president and Kim Jong-un, they were exchanging verbal garbs, and you had the media hyper-sensationalizing that Donald Trump was going to get us into a nuclear war. Remember that?
Oh, my God, I can't believe he's being obnoxious on Twitter. Your little button and my button is bigger than your button. I can't believe that Donald Trump would do this. He's going to get us into a nuclear war.
Then, when that became a complete nothing burger, now it's,
oh my God, look at him bowing to a dictator.
And then when he got a signature, it's like,
oh my God, it's not fast enough. They're not denuclearizing fast enough. I mean, just, damn it, shut up, you liberal shit. Shut up, shut up, shut up.
But anyway, the president, even amidst the negativity at the Trump-Putin summit in, what is it, Helsinki? The president said that he was going to invite Putin over for a visit in the Washington, D.C. area sometime in the fall. And everybody was triggered, of course, even people in the Beltway. Everybody's triggered this, triggered that. Unfortunately, folks, so much triggering is happening that the postponing of such a meeting had to take place. And the president took it upon himself to suggest that because you're having this Robert Mueller witch hunt, which continues to feed this bogus lie, this slanderous lie narrative, I should say, not negative, but it's still a negative, this slanderous lie narrative that Trump had anything to do with colluding with Russia, when we all know that is not the case. On the contrary, folks, it was Hillary Clinton and the Democrats that colluded with Russia when it comes to this goddamn Russian dossier, for Christ's sake. I mean, why hasn't Mueller gone after Hillary Rotten Clinton, for heaven's sake? I mean, she admitted for paying for the Russian dossier. The Russian dossier was compiled by actual fucking Russians in Russia. And how do we know that? Because Christopher Steele testified to that. Christopher Steele said that. I mean, you understand that? I mean, good God. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. How come Hillary Clinton absolved of any kind of Russian collusion? I mean, she was the one that gave away America's uranium and sold it to Putin during the tenure of her Secretary of State, and not to mention who was the FBI director during the time when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. Who was FBI director at that time when we transferred uranium to Russia? It was Robert Mueller. It was Robert goddamn Mueller. And now Robert Mueller is the head of investigation for a supposed collusion with Russia? I mean, give me a fucking break, man. And now it's coming to light. Did y'all hear about this? That Robert Mueller actually utilized Jeffrey Epstein. You know Jeffrey Epstein, the owner of Pedophile Island? He actually used Jeffrey Epstein as an FBI informant to blackmail a lot of the people that would go visit the Pedophile Island or travel the Lolita Express. And if y'all are not familiar with Jeffrey Epstein, well, then I strongly advise you to do your own research on this sick pedophile millionaire son of a bitch. All right, but that's Robert Mueller for you. Robert Mueller. Anyway, the president is postponing any kind of face-to-face meeting again with Putin until after the Robert Mueller witch hunt is off. And he's claiming, the president is claiming that it should be done by next year. I sure as hell hope so. I mean, it would be 2 years if it goes next year, and it's going to be well over $25 million by that time. And no evidence of any Russia-Trump collusion whatsoever. And I feel bad once again for Paul Manafort, because this is the victim of the Robert Mueller special counsel. Because as I've asked, how come the Robert Mueller special investigation isn't going after the Podesta brothers when the Podesta brothers did the exact same thing as Paul Manafort? Well, guess what? Robert Mueller just gave the Podesta brothers immunity to testify against Paul Manafort, huh? I'm telling you, man, the swamp sticks together. That's why those of us that are awake politically and economically cannot go back to sleep. I mean, we have to be politically serious, we have to be politically active, and we have to get as many people as we can to the polls voting for the new Republican Party. Because let me tell you what we're seeing. Aside from the schism that we're seeing in the Democratic Party, this schism between left-wing extreme socialism and those that are center-left, we're having a schism in the Republican Party as well. We're seeing the complete destruction of the establishment GOP, and we're seeing a emergence of the Trump Republican Party. And what is the Trump Republican Party really? It's capitalism, baby. I mean, what did I tell each and every one of you when Trump was elected? I said this was a capitalist revolution! That's what I said! And as you can see by what the president has enacted into law, this is definitely a capitalist revolution. Pure capitalism. Anyway, folks, we have to end this Robert Mueller investigation. It is purely corrupt. We all know that these people in the swamp are all protecting each other, and we cannot go to sleep on this. All right, we need to post this on your social media accounts. All right, we got to put it in the faces of everybody. We got to put the truth in the faces of everybody that this Washington, D.C. swamp is comprised of agents of globalism and criminally corrupt assholes who sell out their own constituencies just so that they can have more money in their campaign contribution accounts. And we need to change that. And how do you change that, folks? You have to be involved. You have to be politically serious. You have to go out and be political. And as I look at the political landscape at this point in time, I sincerely hope that we get more soldiers on our side. I just hope. I just hope that we get more soldiers on our side, because I don't see them. I see a bunch of LARPers. I see a bunch of, if you want my opinion, COINTELPRO. I see a bunch of people pretending to be right-wing when they're actually leftist that are making us all look like idiots. I'm talking these, Richard Spencers. I'm talking to QAnons. I'm talking these people that make those of us on the right look like morons and justify in the minds of leftists calling all of us, labeling all of us as Nazis. When you know as well as I, folks, I'm a capitalist and I hate socialism. And that's what Nazi is. That's what that's what it's short for. It's short for National Socialism. I am not a socialist. I am not a socialist. I'm a capitalist, damn it. I'm a capitalist. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I advocate every single day of my life when I broadcast on this broadcast, man. That's why I continue to do it. That's why this show went into a serious direction, man. We can't fuck around anymore, man. We can't fuck around anymore. Don't you understand that? This is an era where everybody who is in this country, everybody who is a law-abiding citizen of America, needs to participate politically. Because, by God, I've said this a million times, this is a country made for the people and by the people, and if the fucking people fall asleep at the wheel, then you're going to see what has been happening to America in the past 30 to 40 years happen again until America is no longer in existence. So wake up! I'm calling on you! Get off the fucking sidelines! Get on the front lines! The front lines are right outside your fucking door! Wake up, man! God damn it! God damn it! Anyway, once again, the president cancels another face-to-face meeting with Putin because the Robert Mueller witch hunt. The Robert Mueller witch hunt. Good God. Good God. Anyway, let me move on, folks, because I don't want to spend too much time on this. One thing I do want to talk about is something that has been all over the media as of late, and I'm talking about the Michael Cohen tapes. Yeah, Cohen. Parentheses, parentheses, parentheses. Now, first and foremost, I mean, they made it seem as if Trump himself did something that incriminated him and that he broke federal crime. They made it sound like Trump was in major, major trouble. But, folks, did you all hear that tape? It was a big fucking nothing burger. I mean, give me a break. Is this all they have? Is this all they've got? Is this what they're throwing their fucking eggs in the basket on, for Christ's sake? I mean, okay, the president was trying to throw some money at some women so they could shut their fucking yappers because he was, getting down with Melania. Getting married with Melania. Had a child with Melania. I mean, that's really what this all comes down to, man. This was a billionaire trying to, have some of his extracurricular activities kept private. And this is where privacy, folks, it's very important. Your privacy is very important. I know some of you millennials out there in this selfie social media generation don't care about your privacy. At some point in time, you are going to. And what makes this even more slimier, folks, is that his personal attorney, Trump's personal attorney, set him up for this. Cohen. And look, you know me, folks, I'm not anti-Semitic, but when you have stuff like this, I mean, it throws fire on those that are anti-Semitic. I'm just saying. I mean, you just give fodder to these white nationalists, these white supremacists, you give fodder to this shit. Because why in the hell would Michael Cohen go behind his client's back? All right? Go behind his client's back and tape record private attorney-client conversations if he didn't have an intention to try to take him down or exploit or extort him. This is an attorney here. I mean, I don't know about you. I always know that, you want a nice Jewish attorney. I mean, Jewish attorneys, they take the law serious. You want somebody like Alan Dershowitz, defending you in a very precarious situation. You want like Robert Shapiro. Not Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro. That's another thing, man. Look, I don't mean to get off on Ben Shapiro again. I'm tired of seeing Ben Shapiro, okay? What Jewish uncle is fucking Robert Shapiro, Ben Shapiro, excuse me. That's why I was triggered into Ben Shapiro, because I was talking about Robert Shapiro. Ben Shapiro, whose uncle is Ben Shapiro for him to be every fucking where, all over Fox Media? He's doing fucking book tours, he's writing books now, he's got podcasts, whose uncle is this, man? I mean, look, I'm going to be honest with you, Jews. I've said this to you before, all right? I've said this to you before. Look, I'm just saying that, look, I'm down with you guys when it comes to the Palestinian-Israel situation, and I'm not anti-Semitic. I'm not. I'm serious. I've been invited to Jewish funerals, okay? I mean, I have Jewish friends. I'm not anti-Semitic, but let me tell you something. When you throw out an incompetent, disgruntled, miserable autist midget like Ben Shapiro and throw him in our faces as if he's a legitimate commentator of the right wing, I mean, come on, Jews. You know that that's a blatant show of how much dominance you have as it pertains to your media influence. I mean, you know, you Jewish folk like to claim, hey, I don't know what you're talking about. It's just us Jews. We don't have that much influence over the world. We don't have that much influence over the media. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, I mean, when you got people like Ben Shapiro showing up on Fox News and being interviewed by Bill Maher, I mean, come on, Jews. All right, come on, man. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, calm down with your influence there, all right? Seriously, there is no reason for Ben Shapiro to be in the position he's in. And not to mention, he's a smug, autistic little fuck. And can you tell Ben Shapiro, and listen, if I have to see his stupid little autistic face, can you tell Ben Shapiro to take the fucking coffee filter off his fucking head? I mean, aren't you supposed to fucking wear that in the temple or some shit? I don't like seeing that shit. I'm sorry. When I see that shit, it like triggers me like when I see a fucking Mumbuku with a fucking turban on. Alright, when I see a fucking Habib with a goddamn hijab or a fucking burqa. I mean, take the fucking coffee filter off your head, Ben Shapiro! God damn it! Yeah, I'm Ben Shapiro, and I'm going to talk like a disgruntled autist, and this is how I talk. And yes, I'm the voice of the right wing. Go fucking shove a matzo ball up your ass. Anyway, look, I didn't mean to get off on that soliloquy. I'm digressing here. But, I mean, let's get back to what we were discussing. I mean, this personal attorney of Donald Trump, Michael Cohen, parentheses, makes secret tapes that he made of his client public. Now, why does he make it public? I have no idea. Obviously, they raided his offices, they raided his hotel room, they raided his house, they found these recordings. Why did you have them, Cohen? And not to mention, it shows nothing. I don't understand what this is supposed to show. What are these tapes supposed to show? That he gave some broads some money so they couldn't flap their yapper? I mean, seriously. I mean, he treated them like queens. I mean, let's be honest with you. He's like, look, baby, look, I'll give you $150,000. Just shut up. I'm about to marry Melania. All right, she's going to have my kid. All right, just shut your mouth. They can't shut their mouths, can't they? They can't shut their goddamn mouths. This goes to show you that you gentlemen that think that you're getting like a one-night stand or, you know, you're getting lucky and you got some woman in some sexual liaison. You better hope that you're not famous or rich because they're going to come back and say, yeah, he paid me or he did this or I fucked him and I got to write a book about it and I'm going to write a book now and all that crap. And that's all the president was trying to do. But by the way, folks, this had nothing to do with any election fraud. This was way before the elections. All right, this was about him taking care of his marriage, keeping his private life private. And we all know that Donald Trump was a playboy. I mean, it was infamous that he was a playboy, man, that he banged the best of the best, that he had the best broads. He's a billionaire! I mean, what the fuck, what the fuck use is it being a billionaire if you can't bang broads because you feel like it? I'm just saying, I'm sorry if it demeans women. I want to be honest with you. You women that are being a little offended by me saying that, oh, you're a billionaire, you should be able to fuck women, whoever. Hey, listen, all right? That's just the way it is. You women would be doing the same shit. As a matter of fact, whenever you women have power or whenever you women have money, you do it. Case in point, look at Mrs. Britney Spears. Oh, look at her.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to marry Kevin Federline because he just fucking rocks my world. He's a dancer, and he knows how to fucking do the rhythm, that fucking, like, rhythm, and I'm going to marry him and have children with him, and yeah, because I'm Britney, bitch. I'm Britney, bitch.
And then when it ends up being a complete train wreck, you want to blame everybody else but yourselves. I mean, I'm just saying, man. I mean, what good is it being a billionaire if you can't, like, bang bitches and give them money so that they can shut their fucking mouths? And I know women are going to be like, I can't believe you're saying that, Ghost. Well, women, if you weren't taking the money to have sexual acts, this wouldn't even be a conversation piece. But, your women, they are more than willing to drop trow and allow their orifices to be penetrated for a price. And whether you're not doing it, there's somebody within your womanhood that's more than happy to do it. All right? But you see, you women, now that, listen, let's look at Stormy Daniels, for instance. This is a literal whore. All right, this is a woman that gets, three-wayed and double penetrated and probably gets $1,500 and gets videotaped with a handy cam. And this is this woman's career. I mean, and we're supposed to take this woman serious? We're gonna take this woman serious? I mean, Playmates, Playboy model, we're supposed to take these women serious? I mean, they're selling sexuality. I mean, that's what they're selling. They're selling their sexuality. So when you're selling your sexuality and you're having sex and somebody's paying you for it, we're supposed to be shocked? I mean, this was a big nothing burger. It proves nothing. It is nothing. It is nothing. And if this is all you have on Trump, well, then this is obnoxious, okay? $20 million you've crawled up fucking Trump's ass with a microscope via the Robert Mueller investigation team, and all you could come up with is the fact that he banged a lot of hot-looking pieces of tail and he paid him off to shut the fuck up. Okay, great. Congratulations. And you were able to corner his Jew lawyer and put him in a precarious situation by utilizing illegal recordings that he made that you confiscated in midnight raids, for Christ's sake, and now you're forcing him to turn against his own client. I mean, this goes completely against the attorney-client privilege. This is so wrong on so many fucking levels, folks, that I can't believe people aren't pissed off. What if this was you? What if this was you, for Christ's sake? This is the type of unscrupulous bullshit that Robert Mueller is pulling on the president, and not to mention on Paul Manafort. Did you hear what happened to Paul Manafort? I mean, Paul Manafort has to talk to his attorney now that he's in jail because Robert Mueller just wants to throw the book. He's trying to apply so much pressure on Robert Mueller Robert Mueller's trying to put so much pressure on Paul Manafort so that Paul Manafort can say whatever the hell Mueller wants him to say in court against the president. And what Mueller is doing, he's forcing Paul Manafort to talk to his attorney over a telephone, and Mueller is listening in on every conversation that Paul Manafort is having with his attorney. And right away, they know exactly where and what defense that Paul Manafort is going to have, which is completely illegal. I mean, we're seeing Robert Mueller destroy the lawyer-client privilege, and I think people should be up in arms about this. I mean, aside from making these Michael Cohen tapes public and pursuing this angle, Robert Mueller is also denying the lawyer-client privilege for Paul Manafort. And if you as a person can't have private conversations with your lawyer, then what kind of banana republic are we living in, folks? I mean, aren't we supposedly innocent until proven guilty? Even though we all know that's not the case. Let's be honest. I mean, if you got a case on you, you've got to prove your innocence. And that's the biggest con job of our justice system. Oh, you're innocent until proven guilty. Well, once you catch the case, you've got to prove your innocence in a court of law. You know, you got to prove your innocence into a court of law. you're guilty until proven innocent. And, you know, if you don't have an attorney that you can confide in and establish some kind of a defense, well, then you're in jail. And look, they're wanting to throw Paul Manafort in jail for life. So, folks, I mean, you know, we need to keep an eye on the attorney-client privilege at this point. I think it's being completely trampled on because of Robert Mueller. And, of course, nobody's talking about this. Nobody's discussing this whatsoever. And once again, these Trump tapes, big nothing burger. So, you know, you can take your tapes and shove them up your ass. All right? Anyway, let me move on to the next subject matter. Did y'all see Secretary of State Pompeo testifying in front of the Foreign Relations Committee? What a cool character old Pompeo is, man. Not only is he a cool character, but you can tell this guy knows what he's doing. He's a serious man. And probably one of the most active Secretary of States in modern history, if I don't say so myself. He's been able to pull off a lot of different diplomatic feats in very short periods of time. So I definitely give Pompeo some credit. One thing he did testify to today in front of the Foreign Relations Committee is that he emphasized the president's proof of actions, because he was, given a lot of questions by the Democrat counterparts in the Foreign Relations Committees on all the Russian press is saying that, the president bowed down to Putin, and the North Korean press is saying that the president is bowing down to this. And Pompeo laughs and says, I can't believe that you're taking that much credence into the Russian media or the North Korean media. And, I mean, I just really appreciated watching the cool and collective nature of a Pompeo. Remember, we've been seeing these testimonies recently of these DOJ and these FBI criminals like Rosenstein and Peter Strzok, and these people are arrogant, they're smirky, they're pompous. I mean, they think that they're above the law. I mean, they have the most punchable fucking faces. And yet you have Pompeo over here, Secretary of State. And lest we forget that Pompeo, before he became Secretary of State, he was, for a limited time there, the director of the CIA. And as I've stated, his short tenure as the director of the CIA, I am sure, aids his Secretary of State work in dramatic form. And I think that's why we're seeing such very rapid diplomacy taking place under the tenure of Pompeo. So, I mean, once again, Pompeo emphasizing the president's proof of actions, and that's what I told you all about the president. The president understands art of the deal. He understands that, you could say a lot of things. And that's what I keep telling you. I mean, that's what these politicians do. They talk, they say a lot of things, but it's their actions that should define them. And that's how you should live your life, everybody who's listening to my broadcast. You shouldn't define people about how or what they say. You should define people on their actions, because their actions speak louder than words. And the president, he believes in this. He believes in this. He's even said many times, I've seen him in some of these press conferences and these interviews, he's suggested that he would prefer people that are mean to him and talk garbage about him. He doesn't care about the words, so long as they vote. He was making reference to voting for his policies. He doesn't care if you talk garbage to him, but if you vote his policy into play, I mean, that means more to him than any words. I mean, that's what the president, he's all business. I mean, the president is all business. That's what I like about the president. He doesn't take anything personal. All right? I mean, if he knows that somebody who was his former enemy, who talked garbage about him, can make a deal with him that can benefit both sides, he'll make the deal. He's a businessman. He's a businessman. And I think, like I said, he should be defined on his actions, not his words. Anyone can say anything. I mean, I'm sure people have told you a lot of things. and they never came to fruition. That's why those that say all bunch of shit, talk a bunch of garbage, yet never produce anything, never take any action for anything, those are the people you need to get out of your fucking lives, man. You need to get those people out of your lives. People that are all talk, that just talk and talk and fucking talk and talk and talk. No action whatsoever. Those are the people you need to just eliminate out of your lives completely. All right? And that's why I'm glad Pompeo today, in his testimony in front of the Foreign Relations Committee, emphasized the president's proof of actions. Emphasize, all right? I'm telling you that right now. Emphasize actions. Actions speak louder than words, okay? All right, well, let's talk a little bit about liberals, okay? And the reason I want to talk a little bit about liberals, folks, is because, and we're going to talk about liberals for a little bit of time here, because I just don't think that people understand the liberal lunacy that we're dealing with. Now, let's talk a little bit about the fallout from the Dan Harmon and James Gunn pedophile joke situation. We talked about it on the last show. We also had somebody in the capitalist army talk to, which has now become public, Isaac Cappy. Isaac Cappy has now gone public now that he has made it known on a wider platform that he is the man implicating Seth Green and his wife as leaders of a Hollywood child sex ring, not the exclusive child sex ring, but one of them, also implicating Doug Ferguson, a couple of other people out here, James Gunn, etc. And it was the tweets that were found by James Gunn in his older tweet history that spawned Isaac Cappy to come out and become public of the information that he knows. If you did not listen to the interview with the Capitalist Army member that did a private interview in direct message on Twitter with Isaac Cappy, then I would strongly advise you to take a look at the previous episode number 595, to listen to the interview. And this is what this is about. Now, what does the Dan Harmon and James Gunn pedophilia jokes, what does that say to us? And for you folks that don't know, Dan Harmon, he is the creator of Rick and Morty. Yeah, Szechuan sauce, autism, you get it, okay? He is the one who created Rick and Morty, a 2009 clip of him creating some sort of underground independent project called Daryl. In this project, he basically just, simulates rape on a baby. I can't say it any more blatant than that. He takes a baby doll, which in the background is crying. They put crying effects. And he's literally dropping trow. You could see his fat ass and his little wang. And he's putting his wang on this baby doll in a simulating rape capacity. And, of course, James Gunn, we talked about the tweets, how he jokes about pedophilia, and how he jokes about raping, 13-year-old boys and wanting to rape Sanjaya from American Idol, and all this stuff. What are we learning from this? What are we learning? Okay, because everybody wants Dan Harmon to stay. Everybody wants more Rick and Morty cartoons. And they want this to blow over on Dan Harmon. They just feel that, hey, it's no big deal. You can go ahead and make a joke about simulating raping a baby. There's no big deal about it. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. Come on. That's how these goddamn autistic lunatics are saying, okay? That Dan Harmon, all right, Dan Harmon, it was just a joke. Let him continue to make his Rick and Morty cartoons. And James Gunn, the same thing. Did you know that this James Gunn, who happens to be the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, not only does he have his cast members come into his defense about joking pedophilia, his Hollywood actor cast members, but he also has a fucking petition out here with over 300,000 signatures to bring James Gunn back as the director of Guardians of the Galaxy. Can you believe this shit? I mean, all of a sudden, pedophilia jokes are okay all of a sudden. That's what the left is trying to tell you. That's what the fallout of this Dan Harmon, James Gunn shit is all about. You know what the left is saying by doing this? The left is saying that joking about pedophilia is okay. There's nothing wrong. Let's joke about pedophilia. So what? Dan Harmon was simulating rape on a baby. So what? But if you happen to joke about race, if you happen to say the word nigger, oh no! Oh my God, you're committing hate crimes! You're not supposed to say that! You should be thrown in jail! How dare you! Oh! That's what they're saying, folks. They're saying that simulating rape on a baby and joking about raping babies and joking about child pedophilia is justified and completely okay. But if you happen to be racially, jokingly insensitive or say the word nigger, oh no! How dare you! You should be arrested! Shame! I mean, this is what the left is saying. By saying and suggesting that Dan Harmon and James Gunn's pedophilia jokes are just that. They're just jokes. They shouldn't be punished just for jokes. Come on! It's freedom of speech! It's freedom of speech! Come on! Oh, come on! Do you understand the hypocrisy of leftism, folks? If you're a Democrat, you're promoting this, whether you consciously know it or not. If you're on the left, you're fucking promoting this, whether you consciously know it or not. And that's what the left is telling us. That it's okay to simulate the rape of babies. That's what they're saying. I mean, can you believe that James Gunn has a fucking petition to bring him back as the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy? 300,000 fucking signatures of pro-pedophile sickos? I'm telling you, folks, this says a lot about the left. This says a lot. And, you know, everybody who's always criticized me because I suggested that the left is trying to sexualize your children, and all of you people that have suggested that
it's just an isolated incident, Ghost. That's not what the left all does. That's just isolated incidents, Ghost. That's not what the left does. The left doesn't do that. You're lying.
No, you fucking idiots. You are lying. And for whatever reason, you people continue to want to sexualize our children. You want to make light of pedophilia. You want to joke about pedophilia. And yet, those of us who tend to be a little bit jokingly or racially insensitive just on a humor-type basis, you want to ban us. You want to demonetize us. You want to silence us. I mean, hey, Hollywood, you were the ones that exploited racism. Y'all remember Amos and Andy? Huh? Amos and Andy were a bunch of white folk putting on blackface that would have a show. Old Amos and Andy. Remember that there, Hollywood? All them blackface shows you promoted back in the 30s and 40s. Do you remember that? Huh? You remember all that racial humor that you used to use in the late 60s and early 70s that we used to laugh at? You remember that, folks? We used to laugh at racism back in the day, baby. I mean, y'all remember All in the Family? Y'all remember the Jeffersons? I mean, we used to laugh at racism, man. It was a joke. It was a fucking joke. But you can't joke about racism anymore, can you, huh? No, you can joke about raping babies. You can joke about pedophilia. You can joke about deflowering somebody who's under the age of 9. But no, don't you dare joke around about race. Don't you dare be racially insensitive. You better be politically correct. Good God. And I'm telling you, if you're part of the left, you're condoning this, whether you're consciously knowing it or not. You're condoning pedophilia. You're condoning the sexualization of our children. And if you don't, and if you don't believe in that, then stay out of the left! Walk away! Walk a fucking way from the left. If you don't believe in pedophilia, if you don't believe in sexualizing children, then walk away from the left. Do the right thing. Do the adult thing. Jesus Christ, man. Anyway, we are now in the third and final hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, I'm glad that you're tuning in with me. Thank you very much for tuning in with me. Before we get started on anything else, I'd like to remind everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire, okay, folks? If you're listening to the sound of my voice, you are listening to the political underground. And I'm telling you, we don't advertise this show. This show is purely underground. The only way you're listening to this is because somebody introduced you to this broadcast, baby. You understand? We ain't trying to be mainstream. I am the underground! I am the underground, motherfuckers! Anyway, spread this link around like wildfire, okay? The official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, and that's ghost.report, all right? It's as simple as that, ghost.report. That's all you have to type in your browser, baby. Add that to your bookmarks, add that to your favorites. And by the way, folks, if you have not done so, please follow me on Gab, my only social media on the internet. That's my only social media representation. All right, you can, if you don't know how to get there, type in your browser right now, gab.ai. All right, and once you're on there, once you make yourself a free account, follow me. Follow me on there under the name Politics Ghost, okay? All one word, no underscores, Politics Ghost is the name to follow. And by the way, folks, if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, what's going on to the True Capitalist Radio chat room, baby? Here, let's give some shout-outs to whoever's in the chat room right now, all right? We got Andrew Smith. We got Australian Capitalist, Birds of Prey, Black Star Try, Blasphemous Bastard, Capitalist America, Cellist, Dab on Them Tards, Fedora Kush, Fly on the Wall, Hambone Capitalist. We got Herb in the house, Horde Dan, Kittykins. What's up, man? We got Man Bear Pig. We got Metaform. We got Nat. We got Prince. We got Spark. We got Stagio. And we got Tesla Cyberheart. What's going on to everybody who is listening to the True Capitalist Radio chat room? Thank you very much for chilling with me. Thank you very much for kicking it with me. Thank you very much for being a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, baby. And if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, all you got to do is go to my Gab right now, all right? Go to my Gab. Check out my Gab. Politics Ghost, all right? And click the subscribe button for premium content, all right? Click the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, private message me on Gab. Private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name, and I will give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. It's that damn easy. Come on down, man. Join us. Participate in good old tomfoolery with us, baby. Come on down. Come on down. Oh, yeah, and by the way, folks, I want to remind everybody. Y'all remember Ghost.market? Huh? Well, Ghost.market is back up, folks. We've got ourselves merch. So take a look at it, folks. We're adding merch every day. T-shirts, we got mugs, we got we're going to add flags. We're going to add all kinds of stuff. So make sure to add that to your bookmarks, all right? Ghost.market. That's what you type in your browser. Ghost.market. Add that to your favorites. Add that to your bookmarks. All right, and we're going to be adding all kinds of merch on there, okay? And everything that you purchase on there is supporting the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, all right? And let me tell you, props to Teespring, because Teespring believes in freedom of speech. So cheers to Teespring. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on with the broadcast. All right, now once again, the fallout from the Dan Harmon, James Gunn pedophilia jokes only underscores that the left is saying it's okay to joke about pedophilia, But don't you joke about race. Don't joke about racism. Don't say the word nigger. Oh, safe space. Don't say it. But it's okay to joke about pedophilia, isn't it? It's okay to joke about pedophilia. I mean, just, Jesus Christ. Give me my freaking water. What a joke. What an unbelievable joke. Anyway, and yes, Ghost.market is back, so go check it out. Anyway, folks, let's go ahead and go to the next subject matter. Let's continue talking about liberals, shall we? All right? Let's just go ahead and talk about liberals some more. Did you all hear that Senator Elizabeth Warren, old Pocahontas, and Uncle Bernie Sanders introduced a bill to basically bail out Puerto Rico in its $60 billion in debt? Can you believe this? Oh, that's what the Democrats are doing right now. That's what the Democrats are doing. And this goes to show all of you on the left that are Americans, that are out here suffering because, I don't know, you got high debts, you're in college debt, you know, you don't have the best position in life, and you're blaming Trump, whatever you're doing. Those of you on the left, this should show you that you're Democrats. The people that you're out there in favor for, championing for, protesting for, they care more about illegal immigrants and criminals than they do about law-abiding American citizens. You know that? I mean, let's be honest, folks, all right? I mean, why is Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren, and Bernie Sanders introducing a bill to bail out Puerto Rico? I mean, and unless we forget, why is Puerto Rico $60 billion in debt to begin with? And if they are $60 billion in debt, where did the money go, considering that one Category 3 hurricane completely wiped out the electrical system, the infrastructure of Puerto Rico? I mean, come on, that didn't sound like $60 billion worth of infrastructure. Where the hell did where did all the Puerto Rican money go? Where did all the debt money go? It went right into the pockets of the corrupt politicians of this pissing ground of an island. And I want to be honest with you, folks, I don't like Puerto Ricans, okay? I don't. I don't like Puerto Ricans. Every experience I've ever had with a Puerto Rican has been a complete bad one. Has been a bad one. I mean, these people are thieves. They're liars. They're a chameleon race. They're lazy. I'm not even joking, folks. I've met a plethora of Puerto Ricans. All right? And stay away from them. I don't care if the girls have fat asses and big chiches. You know, that's what the Mexicans call breastises. They call them chiche. Ya, orale, look at the chiches. Look at it, she got big chiches. Anyway, that's what the Mexicans call chiches, or breastises. I mean, even if she's stacked, she's got big fucking Puerto Rican booty, big Puerto Rican titty. Don't go there, okay? These people are warped. I mean, they are lazy. I'm sorry. I mean, this is my opinion of these people, okay? I mean, let me give you an example. I bet y'all are thinking, well, Ghost, man, Jennifer Lopez, she's a fucking hot piece of ass. I wouldn't mind getting me some of that. Oh, yeah? Why don't you take a look at all the men she has eaten up and chewed up and spit out? Y'all remember Puff Daddy P. Diddy? I mean, man, she broke P. Diddy's heart. This fucking idiot put out like an album dedicated to her. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that stupid song? Mommy Hokari, come back and feel me, baby. Mama. I mean, remember that stupid fucking song? It was stupid! But, I mean, once again, Puerto Rican girl from the Bronx, old fucking Jennifer Lopez, chewed up fucking P. Diddy and spit his fucking charcoal ass out. Not to mention, who else did she do that to? Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck! I mean, man, she had Ben Affleck sprung like a motherfucker, man. Do y'all remember that Ben Affleck bought a Bentley for J-Lo's mom and a Bentley for J-Lo for Christmas. I mean, you know, come on. He almost married this Puerto Rican trash until, like, a family intervention came in, and they're like, look, Ben, stop it. Can you please just stop it? You need a good goyle. You don't need this Puerto Rican trash. And anyway, she ended up leaving him, and, you know, I mean, she just chews guys up and spits them out. And you know who she ends up with? Who does she end up with? Nothing but Puerto Rican thugs and morons. Now, granted, she was married to Mark Anthony for a minute, but let's be honest, Mark Anthony was making buku money selling albums in the Latin community. Believe it or not, man, you could make a fucking fortune if you know how to sing, like, Espanol. I mean, look at fucking bald-ass ugly Pitbull, man. All this dude is, he's just saying Mexican gibberish over fucking beats that he ripped off from 80 songs. You know? I mean, that's all he's doing. He's just, Botoca Rica, oh, la tiga culo. Oh, I mean, it's all he's doing. And because it's in Spanish, I mean, everybody in South America is going to buy it, and Mexico's going to buy it, the Latin contingent in America is going to buy it, the Spaniards are going to buy it, and that's what Mark Anthony was. He was making a fortune, and she chewed up this asshole, made sure to have a baby with this asshole, and spit him out. So I'm just saying, Puerto Ricans, from my experience, are just a bunch of lazy loser thieves. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know, and listen, I'm glad. Look, guys, right now in the True Capitalist Radio chat room are posting the pictures of Puerto Ricans after the Hurricane Maria, and instead of like removing the debris and helping rebuild the country, I mean, there are masses of fat Puerto Ricans after the goddamn hurricane just following the cell phone tower trying to get cell phone service because they want to get on their internets. I mean, I'm telling you, this is a lazy group of people. I mean, they're a lazy... They didn't even want to fucking rebuild their own goddamn country. And now you've got Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders introducing a bill so that we can bail these people out. Look, man, these dumb Puerto Ricans, all they talk about is, Orale, Boricua, Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico, Orale, Boricua, Morena, Boricua, Puerto Rico, Morena, all that bullshit. They're always so fucking proud of their little pissing ground of a fucking island. They've been wanting autonomy for so long. Now, all of a sudden, that they need money, now they're like, no, we're a part of the United States, so you need to take care of us. We're a part of the United States. You need to take care of us now. Fuck no. All right? Fuck no. And look, the reason I bring this up, folks, is because why are Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders caring about Puerto Rico's debt? How come they're initiating bills? They're actually writing bills for this shit. Why are they doing this? How come they're not caring about your average, everyday, law-abiding American citizen that's on the Democrat side? How come they're not caring about the black folk that they so-called champion for all the fucking time? How come they're not, instead of calling for $60 billion in Puerto Rican debt being wiped out, how come, putting not even $60 billion, how about $2 billion into some kind of a black cause or something? I mean, isn't that your forte? Isn't that what the Democrats should be pulling off and writing as legislation? I mean, that's what they tout that they are. They tout that they're men and women of the people. How come they're not helping the law-abiding citizens of America? And this underscores, once again, folks, that the Democrats don't care about you. If you're an American, if you're a law-abiding citizen, Democrats don't care about you. How much more evidence do you need for you to realize that these Democrats don't care? Unless you're an illegal immigrant or a criminal, they're not going to come out and help you. They're not going to come out and protest for you. I mean, let me level off with you black folk. When was the last time that you had Democrats going out and protesting for anything as it relates to black folk? Never. You know what they're doing to you black folk? They're utilizing their weaponized CNN, MSNBC media. So whenever there is a officer that shoots a black person, They utilize their media communication to galvanize you folk to go out and commit acts of violence. And where do you go? You go and you riot in your own neighborhoods. You break your own black businesses up. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, when are you black people, going to finally realize that the Democrats are massa to you people? Do you understand that? That the Democrats are massa. You are nothing but a slave in the plantation of the Democrats. Because where's all the money? Where's all the bills, to help black causes? Where is it? I don't see it. Do you see it? Did you see it during Obama's tenure? No, you don't see it. You know what black folk got? They got completely degraded into a perpetual cycle of entitlements. That's why, with all due respect to you black folks, man, I mean, I watch World Star Hip Hop. I watch Divines. I mean, these Democrats have got you all in a permanent underclass. And they've galvanized you into believing that everything is about race. And that the reason that you're in a bad position is because, man, my racism. When in actuality, you've got black folks who aren't crying my racism, making a great living, becoming capitalists, owning businesses, creating things, etc. I mean, I'm serious, folks. I mean, I just don't understand why exactly anyone that's a law-abiding citizen of America would vote Democrat when you have their actions. Remember, we're just talking about actions. I mean, why exactly are Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders introducing a bill to eliminate Puerto Rican debt? Can somebody explain this to me? How is that going to benefit America at all? How is that going to benefit America at all? These people want to remain autonomous. They don't want to become a state of America. All right, and now they want to be a state because they need money. And look, we don't want to give money to Puerto Ricans. If we're going to be giving money to anybody, we should be giving money to Americans. And I'm glad we have a president that understands that. And on a side note, do y'all remember that Puerto Rican mayor that was out there with the T-shirt, help us and all that? Well, she's finally in jail for corruption because, like we were saying during that time of the Hurricane Maria, that this woman was holding aid, was refusing Puerto Rico from receiving aid that was delivered to America, or that was delivered to Puerto Rico from America, refused the people to get access to that aid, and that aid rotted. It just rotted out there, sitting there, because these Puerto Rican authorities were trying to purposely make a very, very desperate situation for Puerto Rico so that they could take it over in a communist-style capacity. And yet this is what Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders want to help. They want to help Puerto Rico. They want to bail out Puerto Rico. I mean, don't you understand, folks? They don't care about you, man. They don't care about American people. They don't care about American law-abiding citizens. They don't care. They want to sexualize your children, folks. I mean, look, why do you think that they don't defend anybody except criminals and illegal immigrants? Or they defend people that are trying to sexualize children? I mean, let's be honest, folks. And I said this on the last broadcast. I mean, why are the left and Islam coming together in some kind of a political alliance? I mean, you've got liberals carrying the water for Islam. Why? I mean, there is no direct correlation between leftism and Islam other than they both want to sexualize children. They both believe that there's no age of consent. I mean, that's the glue that sticks Islam and the leftists together. I mean, can you explain it? Because remember, the leftists in America, they're pro-gay, they're pro-woman. That's not what Islam is. As a matter of fact, Islam is a patriarchy. All right, you hear all these stupid feminists. Oh, yeah, the patriarchy. I can't believe the patriarchy. Hey, that's what Islam is, you stupid feminist dykes. All right, Islam is a patriarchy. So what is the glue that brings them all together? What is the glue? It's child sexualization. It's pedophilia. Both of these political entities want the sexualization of children. Remember, in Islam, Muhammad had a 9-year-old wife named Aisha. I mean, and if you ever try to debate an Islamic person about this, they will literally give up the debate and walk away, because they don't even want to acknowledge the fact that in the Quran it talks about how Muhammad had a 9-year-old wife. And, you know, I'm telling you, have a debate with somebody who is of Islam, all right? Have a debate. And then ask them, do you condone Muhammad having a 9-year-old wife? And they're going to walk away. They're going to be like, hey, fuck you, you fucking American piece of shit. And fuck you. Pool, I fucking kick you out of fucking... That's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. And that's the glue that sticks Islam and the left together. Pedophilia, the sexualization of children. That's it. I mean, somebody, one of you that are on the left that are listening in, that are hating me right now, why don't you explain to me what brings you two together? What brings the left and Islam together? What brings y'all together? I mean, Islam throws gays off of fucking buildings. All right, Islam suppresses women, throws beekeeper suits on women, for Christ's sake, stones women to death for getting raped. Because in this patriarchal society of Islam, if you get raped, then it was your fault. So what is the glue that brings Islam and the left together? Pedophilia. Pedophilia. Just like we were talking about earlier in the show, the fallout from the Dan Harmon, James Gunn pedophilia jokes. The left are defending Dan Harmon and James Gunn. Because, oh, it's okay to joke about pedophilia. It's just a joke. What are you talking about? It's just a joke. But don't joke about race. Don't joke about gender. Don't joke about gays, because, by God, we're going to convict you for hate speech. Because that's hate speech. And we're going to demonetize you. We're going to ban you. We're going to censor you. I mean, do you understand, folks? This is leftism. I mean, how much more evidence do you need? I mean, the left is coming to the defense of guys that are making jokes about raping babies, and yet getting triggered by so-called racial, LGBTQ, gender jokes. It doesn't make any sense. It makes perfect sense when you start realizing how sick the left is and how eager they are to sexualize your children. And this, once again, is what underscores the alliance between the left and Islam. I'm telling you this right now, man. I mean, you people need to open up your fucking eyes, for Christ's sake. You need to open up your fucking eyes. So if you're of the left, if you're a Democrat, then you're promoting this, whether you're consciously knowing it or not. I mean, you can pretend in your own perception, in your own mind, that,
well, no, Ghost, you're lying, because I don't believe in that type of Democrats. I'm a center-left Democrat.
Oh, yeah? That's not what the Democratic Party is. Even the Democratic chairman said that people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez are, quote, the future of the Democratic Party. So they've already taken a stance that this extreme left, this sexualization of children, this protection of sexualization of children under Islam, this Islamic holding all this garbage, everything that I've talked about today, you are promoting by claiming you're Democrat, by claiming you're leftist. And I'm telling you all right now, all of you leftists that don't agree with pedophile jokes, that don't agree that Puerto Rico should be bailed out, that don't agree that immigrants should be protected over American citizens, that don't agree, then walk away! Walk away from the left! Walk the fuck away! Just walk away, man. Just walk away. That's all I'm saying. Just walk away. All right? And you know what? I mean, I can't underscore that anymore. There's no reason. If you're center-left, there's no reason to be a part of the Democrats or the left anymore. Unless you're pro-pedophile, unless you're pro-immigrant, unless you're pro-criminal. And take a look. That's the only thing. Those are the only causes that the left comes out for. Makes you wonder why the left are so concerned about immigrant children now, don't you, huh? Oh, yeah. It makes you wonder why all these politicians are concerned about immigrant children. And just on a side note, folks, did you know that more children go missing around Washington, D.C. and the surrounding Maryland areas and Virginia areas, because Maryland extends into Virginia, etc., or not Virginia. I forgot. I'm having a brain fart, but take a look in that region. More children go missing in that region around Washington, D.C. than anywhere else in America. You think that's a coincidence? You think that's a coincidence? And that information was brought out during the whole Pizzagate situation. And not to mention, folks, I mean, you know, nobody ever talks about this as much as I do. 800,000 children. 800,000 children go missing every year in America. 800,000 children just disappear and go missing, and nobody talks about it. We don't have any kind of advocacy for these poor children that go missing. Nothing. They just go missing. And we just accept it. 800,000 children go missing every year. It makes perfect sense why you have these leftist, evil, godless assholes joking about pedophilia. That's just a little side note there. Just a little side note. Anyway, let's continue talking about the left, but let's go a little bit further north. Let's talk about Canada. That's right. Let's talk a little bit about Canada. Now, you all know that Toronto had a mass shooting here recently. I believe 2 are dead still. I think it's only 2 still dead. 13 injured. Okay? Now, of course, we have now found out that it was the religion of peace that strikes again. ISIS has taken credit for the Toronto mass shooting. Of course, it was a 29-year-old, or excuse me, I think it was 29-year-old. Hold on, let me see this. What was it, 29? Oh, I got last show's production notes here. Where is this idiot here? Mass shooting, 2 dead, 29. Yeah, 29 years old. Faisal Hussein. Family says that he was psychotic, in that we didn't know what he was doing. He was a good boy. He didn't do nothing. When ISIS claims responsibility, and look, there's evidence pointing that this guy was in connection, was in communication with ISIS. So this is one of those lone gunman, ISIS-inspired type jihadist shootings. And guess what Toronto is responding? Guess how they're responding today? Toronto is trying to vote now for a total gun ban in Toronto in wake of the mass shooting. Can you believe this? This is leftism right here. This is liberal leftism. This is liberal lunacy. Toronto is going to vote for a total gun ban in wake of the fucking mass shooting, for Christ's sake? This is what leftists do, because let's be honest. What happened here? It was Justin Trudeau and his liberal immigration policy in which he opened up the borders of Canada and allowed all these ISIS Jehudis to just come into this ice hole Canada and settle in and make themselves at home. And guess what? That immigration policy is finally starting to bite old Justin Trudeau in the ass. And you're starting to see massive terrorism in in Canada. You're starting to see massive terrorism. And instead of blaming the policies of the Liberals in power for inducing the terrorism in Canada, the authorities instead are going to punish the law-abiding citizens of Canada, and they are going to take away your rights for guns. All right, they're going to take away your gun rights. I mean, folks, this is what leftism is all about. That's what I keep telling you. That's why I'm talking so much about leftists. That's why I'm talking so much about Democrats. That's why I'm talking so much about liberals, for Christ's sake, man. These people hate their country. Do you understand? The reason that leftists do this, the reason that you've got Trudeau opening up the borders, bringing in the problem of terrorism, terrorism happens, and he's punishing the native Canadians. You want to know why he's doing this? Because Trudeau hates his country. When Obama was president, Obama hated his country. These leftists hate their country. They hate the way it is. They hate what it is. And why do they hate it? Because, folks, what is leftism rooted in? It's rooted in Marxism. And Marx, believe it or not, did not believe in borders. He didn't believe in nation states. He believed that every citizen was a citizen of the world. That's what he believed. So when you hear this notion of, oh, we should have open borders, that's communism. When you hear this notion that we're citizens of the world, that's communism. And that's why you have these leftists creating these policies that are basically triggering these types of terrorist events, so that they can justify totalitarianism, so they can justify relinquishing rights of the natural citizens and continue with this open border policy so that the entire world becomes disorderly. And the only places that are safe on earth are those that are controlled by those that are in charge, the globalists. I mean, do you see where all this is going? Because the only way the leftists stay in power is if they have perpetual strife. As a matter of fact, that is the ultimate adherent to leftist, communist, and socialist ideology. Struggle. Struggle. Constant struggle. The word struggle is used constantly in all of Marx's works. As a matter of fact, one of the most famous National Socialists, he named his book My Struggle. And I'm talking about none other than Adolf Hitler and his book Mein Kampf, which means My Struggle. And that's what leftism needs for it to sustain its indefinite power upon a globalist system. They need perpetual devastation, rape, famine, war, despair, poverty. Because if you have all these people in such desperate situations, they're going to be begging for the state, please, please help me. You are the state. I will do anything you say. I mean, henceforth, folks, that's why when the United Nations was incepted, it was supposed to prevent things like world wars. It was supposed to keep peace in the world. But in actuality, folks, we all know at this point in time that the United Nations does nothing more than manage devastation, manage mass rape, manage mass famine, manage wars. That's what the United Nations does. I mean, I just gabbed an article, and once again, I've talked about this many times, that the United Nations, they have this sex for food type of a scam that they have. Whenever they send in the UN peacekeepers into these third world nations, what they do is the peacekeepers are supposed to be distributing food to these hungry, impoverished people. But instead, the UN peacekeepers are going out and they're exploiting small children and forcing these people to have sex. Forcing small children to have sex with the UN peacekeepers so that they can have grain and food and rice. This is the UN, folks. These are the globalists. I mean, this is why I keep telling you, globalism is communism. And that's why you have such whacked out, crazy policies that are going to do nothing but perpetuate terrorism, despair, poverty, crime, etc. So it justifies the strong arm of the state. I mean, what Justin Trudeau did to Canada by allowing the Jehudis into Canada, by allowing ISIS into Canada, I mean, what he's doing here, now that you're seeing all this terrorism in Canada, is the same thing that the European Union did to its nation states. I mean, that whole migrant crisis was done on purpose. Because take a look at Europe now. I mean, Europe is being completely raped and pillaged by the refugees that these goddamn Eurocucks accepted with open arms, remember? They accepted these goddamn refugees with open arms. And now look at them. They're taking over their entire country. And why did the European Union do this? Why is Canada doing this? Why was Obama doing this during his tenure? Because they are trying to make us citizens of the world. And they're trying to wither away our sovereignty so that we can be consolidated into global power. And not to mention, folks, they want to eliminate races. They're trying to create new races by merging these refugees with Europe. Because they want a new Europe. That's what the European Union is trying to emphasize. They want a new Europe, they want a new European superstate, and they want a new people. They want a new version of a European. And what did they do? They merged the white European races, which comprise most of the nation states in the European Union, and merged them with the Jehudis. That's why they don't care how many rapes happen in the European Union. I mean, Merkel doesn't care if Jehudis are raping German women, all right? The leadership of Sweden doesn't care if Jehudis are gang raping Swedish women. I mean, the quicker, the more rapid facilitation of race mixing, the better. They want a new Europe. They want a whole new European superstate with a whole new group of people. I mean, this is ethnic cleansing in process. And of course, how were they able to do this? Socialism. That's how they made the entire nation states of Europe docile. I mean, they had them under socialism, man. I mean, folks, I think I've told you this story many times. I've known many of people that went to Europe during the 90s and the 2000s, you know, did the whole European thing. I knew one guy that stayed out there for 10 years. He fucking loved it so much. And why did he love it? Because it was bourgeois, man. You didn't do anything. Everybody was just boozing and drinking and fucking, and, you know, everything was so laid back, and, you know, everybody was just, oh, it's okay, don't worry. I mean, there was no hectic life because the government was subsidizing everything for everybody. And what Europe was trying to prove was that, oh, yes, our socialism is so good, yes. I mean, look at us. We have a 6-hour work day with a 3-hour lunch break, and we go to drink wine during our lunch break, and we go back to work, and we are a little buzzed, and, you know, we get to retire at 40 years old, and we get to do whatever we want, and we get to fuck, and we get to have drugs, and we get to drink. I mean, that's literally what socialism was. That's why everybody loved going to Europe back in the 90s and the early 2000s, man. I mean, that's all they were doing. They were drinking, eating, and fucking. I mean, that's drugging, too. They were drugging. I mean, it was just, that's all they did for about 20 years, 25 years. That was until they brought in these refugees, man. And once they brought in these Jehudis into Europe, the Europeans don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. They're not... I mean, they've already raised about 2 or 3 generations, used to being laid back and, screwing and drugging and drinking, that, these populations aren't used to these types of violent people. They can't handle this type of violence. I mean, they can't. I mean, if they did, they would have been able to fucking fight these Yehudis off and made the environment in Europe so uncomfortable for these fucking Yehudis, they would have left. They would have fucking left. But they didn't. All right? So once again, Toronto, their liberal response to the mass shooting that was done by a Yehudi that obviously ISIS has already taken credit for, their response, let's eliminate the guns from everybody in Toronto. All right? Let's have a city, we're voting a gun ban. We want to ban guns now because some Yehudi that fucking Justin Trudeau brought into Canada, because he brought in the problem, we're going to punish ourselves by taking away our own fucking rights. That's great, isn't it? That's exactly what the Europeans are doing right now. You people are fools, man. You people are fools. And that's why I keep saying leftism and liberalism is a disease. It's lunacy. It makes no fucking sense. It makes no sense. I mean, what sense does it make that you, as an authority, bring in the problem to your country? And now your country is bogged down with terrorism, and what, you punish the natives of the country? You punish the law-abiding citizens that voted you goddamn idiots in? Oh, God, man. I'm just... Wake the fuck up, you leftist, man. I'm telling you, do you understand how lunatic this is getting on the left? I mean, those of us that are rational need to start waking up and start realizing that we may have to, rise up and start busting a few fucking ignorant heads out here just to save society. I'm not even kidding around, man. We need to start. Look, I am not advocating violence. I'm not advocating violence, but I'm just simply making an observation. Why is everybody capitulating to Islam? Why is everybody just bowing down to Islam? How come the Europeans are not doing anything to the refugees that are not only just raping and pillaging Europe, but completely taking over Europe? I mean, there's portions of Germany, there's portions of Sweden, there's portions of France, there's portions of all these countries in the European Union that have now turned Sharia law. And it's not because it was written in the government, it's because there's so many Yehudis in a centralized area that they can enforce now. They can enforce Sharia law, whether the government likes it or not. Now, how come the governments are not doing anything about this? How come they're bowing down to Islam? How come they're afraid of Islam? Because they're violent. Because they're violent. And just on mere observation, this should show anybody that violence does create results. And I'm not advocating violence, but folks, take a look at Islam and take a look at how everybody just bows down and capitulates, especially those on the left, because they're afraid. They're afraid of their barbaric violence. And I'm telling you this right now, in America, we're getting down to a point where these little soy boy, feminist, lesbo, LGBTQ, and all these other leftist queers, they're rising up, they're trying to poke people in their eye, they're trying to get violent, and I'm telling you this right now, I mean, we may have to come out and start busting fucking heads and start meeting these people, violence for violence, before this whole goddamn thing goes into a civil war. Because I guarantee you, we need patriots. We need a group of patriots to start meeting these fucking Antifa and these Black Lives Matter and everybody else, and start meeting these people up and start busting their fucking heads. All right? A good case in point is the Proud Boys over there in the Northwest, Pacific Northwest, in Portland, in Seattle. And if you all don't know the Proud Boys, These are a right-wing group that literally, when they hear that Antifa is coming out and protesting, they go out and bust their fucking heads. All right? They go out and beat the shit out of Antifa. And guess what? The cops, they don't do anything to the Proud Boys because guess what? Antifa hates cops. Antifa is anti-cop. So whenever they see a fucking Antifa getting their fucking brains beat in, they're not going to arrest anybody. And let me tell you, I mean, they're becoming effective. They're so effective out there in Portland, in Oregon, that their governor, believe it or not, in the blue state of Oregon, their governor's race is pretty tight with a right-wing candidate. And why? Because, folks, people appreciate strength. And when they see the Proud Boys going out there and kicking the fucking shit out of Antifa and beating their fucking brains in, all right, that's when people are like, well, it's about time. It's about time that that's happened. Yeah, it's about time to kick their asses, yeah! And that's why you've got Portland swinging a little bit to the right at this point in time. And let me tell you, whenever the Proud Boys show up, man, these are big boys, and there's a lot of them. I mean, Antifa runs away, man. Antifa runs the fuck away because these guys are not afraid. They don't care if Antifa has fucking, locks in a sock. They don't care if they have spray. They don't care what it is. They go out and kick the crap out of goddamn fucking Antifa, and that's what we need on the right. We need more men. We need more badasses. We need guys with balls that are going to go out there and kick the shit out of these fucking soy boys. All right? And I guarantee you, these stupid dumbass protests would stop real quick. And Antifa's recruitment would go down real quick if they realized that they were going to be severely hurt if they go out and protest with these morons. And that's what the Proud Boys are proving out there in the Pacific Northwest. And I want to give props to the Proud Boys out there that are kicking fucking ass and taking names out there. That's what the fuck we need. That's what the right needs right here, right now. That's what we need. Jesus Christ, man. Anyway, let me move on. I want to talk about the last subject matter of the broadcast, and I want to talk a little bit about North Korea. North Korea, folks, you've been hearing a lot about the media talking garbage about North Korea, that it's not going fast enough, and that,
it seems like denuclearization of North Korea is going to be a little bit harder than Trump anticipated. And, I mean, it's not going by that fast, and, they're not denuclearizing it all, and,
I mean, it's as if the lamestream media is trying to make this fail. They're trying to sour the diplomacy that President Trump and Pompeo have been working on delicately at this point in time. Well, even amidst the lamestream media trying to poo-poo the North Korean progress, North Korea came out today and began dismantling its ICBM, its intercontinental ballistic missile facilities. So, once again, winning, once again. I mean, the liberal media is still trying to sabotage the deal, man. I mean, I don't understand. Why would you want to sabotage this deal? And not to mention, we all knew it was not going to be a fast denuclearization. I mean, you have to think, Kim Jong-un has got to delicately and incrementally unload this on his inner circle, on his top brass that have been living under this hermit kingdom type communism for the past fucking 70 plus years. I mean, he's got his own problems. If he's going to denuclearize, he's got to justify, he's got to look good in front of his people. There's a lot of things that have to be done. This can't be just snap fingers and we're just going to denuclearize, for Christ's sake, man. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I mean, that's what the lamestream media thought. They thought, hey, there's a signature. Oh, snap fingers, and then all of a sudden, North Korea was supposed to be denuclearized. It's not, man. I mean, you have to understand, Kim Jong-un is a very young man. He's only like 33, 34 years old. He's a very young man, and not to mention, he just got hold of this hermit kingdom. And he has to move delicately, man. I mean, he could be assassinated amongst his own people for doing this. I mean, I think that Kim Jong-un is taking a big risk by denuclearizing, not just because he looks, a certain way on the world stage, but his own fucking top brass, his own generals, the people who used to serve his dad, the people who used to serve under his grandfather. He's got to worry about these people. These people are dedicated. These people are fanatical. I mean, did y'all know that when Kim Il-sung died, that's Kim Jong-il's father, Kim Jong-un's grandfather. When Kim Il-sung died, 10,000 people cried themselves to death. I'm not joking. I mean, that's how fanatical these people are in North Korea. If you don't believe me, why don't you Google up Kim Il-sung funeral and take a look at all the fanatical crying of North Koreans in the thousands. I'm talking fanatical fucking crying. Like they just saw their baby getting eaten by Dan Harmon or something. Just fucking crying. Crying. 10,000 people cried themselves to death when Kim Il-sung died. I mean, that's just how fanatical North Korea is. And you've got the media just talking garbage about the progress that the president has gotten on North Korea because it's not going fast enough. I mean, what a bunch of garbage, man. I'm telling you, the media is completely weaponized. It's an enemy of the people, just like the president said. This fake news media is an enemy of the people. And the more that you understand this, the more you realize it, the better off you're going to be in this world. I mean, this lamestream media has no backbone. As a matter of fact, they're dying. This lamestream media is dying. Have you heard about all the layoffs that are happening at all the big publications, at all the big lamestream media networks? They have to cut costs. They're not out there producing because why? America is waking up. We're not watching this garbage on the lamestream media. As a matter of fact, I like where the direction of media is going. It's getting more personalized at this point in time. People are finding their own independent means of gathering their news and information, much like people on this show are doing. And I think that's better for news gathering and information than having everybody have the same molded narrative by a fucking talking head that's told what to say by some gatekeeper of the news. I like how, people are gathering their news from independent media, like this show, like other shows that, produce content that inform people on the truth, that inform people on what exactly is going on out here. Now, the problem with that, folks, is that they're trying to silence us. They're trying to demonetize us. They're trying to silence us. And that's something that those of us that are content creators need to take into very much consideration. Now, that's why I keep telling everybody, man, we need as much support as we possibly can out here. Because if we don't have support from the individuals that appreciate the content, then we're not going to be able to continue to deliver you the content necessary. And I want to thank everybody who has been contributing to the cryptocurrency wishing well that's on Ghost.report, man. Every little cryptocurrency wishing well wish, you throw something in there, it helps, man. I mean, there's been some people, I want to thank you guys that have contributed generously. I know that there's been people that have, I've gotten about 10 quantum from individuals. I've gotten, about $150 in Ethereum from some group of people. I've gotten about $40 worth of Bitcoin. Things of that nature. I appreciate you guys doing that. I appreciate also everybody who purchased autographs. As a matter of fact, I don't know if y'all have seen the video in which I show you guys, or I tell you guys how to obtain an autograph. One person, purchased about almost $600 worth of autographs. And why did they do that? They did that because they appreciate the content, and the person has the means to do that. And that's why I'm telling each and every one of you that appreciate this content, or let's say you appreciate somebody else's content that's independent media. I mean, you've got to contribute, man, so that they can keep going, so they can expand their operation, so that they can gain more influence, because no one is promoting any of us that are on the right in content creation. Nobody is promoting anything. They are trying to stop us, man. They are trying to stop us. They're trying to stop us. And, those of us that are content creators, man, we've got to think of it. We got to get creative. We got to figure it out. And those that are listening, man, I mean, any little thing counts. Any little thing counts. So anyway, I want to thank each and every one of you for listening this evening. And like I said, if you can contribute to the broadcast in any capacity, whether it's throwing a couple of bucks into the cryptocurrency wishing well, whether it's buying an autograph, whether it's buying some merch on Ghost.report, or excuse me, Ghost.market, my apologies. Yeah, that's right. Ghost.market is actually back up and running. So long as you purchase anything, contribute anything, it means the world. It means that this show isn't going anywhere. It means that this show may even expand. I mean, I'm telling you, we get enough support. I mean, we're going back to 5 days a week, baby. But like I said, I mean, independent media needs to be supported, because the advertising model, nobody wants to advertise with us. I want to be honest with you. I tried to apply for Commission Junction. Commission Junction is like a online marketing group in which it brings people who own businesses online to people who can advertise their businesses. Basically, it's like an AdSense type of a situation, Commission Junction, right? Well, anyway, they looked at Ghost.report and they said that my website is bigoted, it's filled with hate speech, it's violent, it's this, it's that, when it's anything of the sort, folks, okay? I mean, this show is, first of all, pure capitalism when it comes to the crypto and the stocks and the financial hour, and the straight political dope when it comes to everything else. And they straight up said that we're not going to allow you to advertise on Commission Junction because you're a bad goy. So, like I said, folks, they're trying to stop us in every capacity possible. So anyway, folks, it is 9:30. It is about that time to end the broadcast. I want to remind everybody that I will be back on Baller Friday, this Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, and it is Ghost.report. All right, Ghost.report. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try to write more articles. Remember, I'm a one-man operation here. I'm a one-man show, so bear with me on a lot of different things. So, it is what it is. Try to write more articles when I can on Ghost.report. And by the way, if you do want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, the True Capitalist Radio broadcast chat room, if you want to be a part of the chat room, the official chat room, all you got to do is go to my Gab account right now. Go to my Gab account right now, Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores, and click the subscribe button for premium content, all right? Click the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, private message me on Gab and let me know your Discord chat name so I can give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. It's that damn simple. Anyway, folks, thank you all very much for tuning in with me on this 596 edition. This is July 25th, 2018. I thank you once again. Spread this show around like wildfire because, like I said, folks, if you are listening to this broadcast, you are listening to the underground of politics. I guarantee you that right goddamn now. Anyway, folks, I'm getting the hell out of here. You better be here Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on Baller Friday and bring everybody you can. Tell everybody you know. Spread it around like wildfire, all right? And be here Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Anyway, I am out of here. Long live the capitalist army and death to feminism! Death to socialism and death to communism! I'm out of here. You better be here 6:30 p.m. Friday, this Friday, Baller Friday, and I'm out of here. Woo!
And there you have it, folks. This was True Capitalist Radio, episode number 596, right here, relaying on the Capitalist King Network stream. And I do hope everybody enjoyed tonight's show. And, of course, thank you, Ghost, once again for hosting and providing a good show. Tonight was a very good show. So, thanks again, Ghost. We do appreciate what you do, and we all love you. And, of course, thank you, everybody, for watching, as well as to all who came out and really listened to the relay. So thanks again, guys. I do hope you enjoyed it. So I'm going to give some shout outs here momentarily. But before I do, let me just say, if you're a new new viewer, why not subscribe, as I do the TCR shows relaying every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. 6:30 p.m. Central is the time. 7:30 p.m. Eastern is the East, if you live in the East, or if you live in the West, should be 4:30 p.m. Pacific. And we do them live. When Ghost conducts a live stream or pretty much a live broadcast, we relay them live as well. So why not and do so? And really would help. And of course, if you would want to get notified, why not click that bell? And of course, I do say that if you get notified, then you know exactly when the next show happens. So you would never get alone. So why not do so? Would appreciate. And alright, let's see. Yes, and of course, if anybody here also, let's just say, wants to, I don't know, follow Ghost over at Ghost's Gab account, you can follow him at Politics Ghost. All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is his Gab account. If you want to follow him for lots of very interesting information, and if you do read them, why not? Yeah, why not just okay? Why not just follow him, and also as well like and repost all his his work, because most of the stuff he posts is pretty much should be more reeling and pretty much spread over everybody else. That should really spread the information about it. So go ahead and do so. Really help out everything that that he does. So go ahead and do that. But if not, why not subscribe? If you subscribe to him, well, you'll be especially invited to the TCR Discord, in which it's actually a pretty good platform for really just meeting up with everybody in the TCR community and the voice chat. And Ghost does appear in there as well, so that's a good big bonus to really just go in there and just hang in there and talk to him, or just talk to everybody in there. And it's really good. It's very good. So if anyone wants to, just go ahead and do so. And what else? Think that's about it. So I guess I'll go ahead and do some quick shout outs here. So once again, I'm taking some YouTube shout outs. If you want to shout out, all you have to do is just instantly just say something right now on the YouTube live feed. If not, then I'm just gonna go and scroll up and see who we have here. So I'm actually gonna be scrolling here in a bit. Let me just save this game here, because right now I'm just playing some Paper Mario 1000 Year Door. Well, actually just talking, because literally it's kind of hard for me to actually talk at the same time while playing, so that's a little thing. It's always nice if I do. Anyways, I'm done with that one. So right now, let me just put this into black screen of death, and I'm just gonna put this GIF right here. There we go. So please stand by. Anyways, what's going on to the people here? What's going on to our Aaron Tumon, the Arbiter? What's going on, Arbiter? Cobra Broadcast TV Channel 2, E. Goldman, and there is no nuclear annihilation without creation. What's going on to you guys? Hope you enjoyed tonight's stream. I'm going to scroll up and see who we had that were here early. What's going on to Soaring Rings was here. Gravity Hook was here. Ron Livingstone was here. Who else? I'm looking up back here. Bunk Sneeze was here. Mr. Sideswipe Prime was here. Matt Biden was here. Saldada was here. Oh, excuse 1 sec. I'm going to have to take this 1 sec. Alright, sorry about that. I'm back. So, where was I? I was taking some shout outs here. What's going on to Parzavel 3000? Who else we have here? I'm looking up. Sumo, Minerva Mink. Yeah, what's going on, Sumo? Mana Ray of Hope 23 was here. Code Corel was here. Mars Anarchy was here. Or Marcy Anarchy was here. Or is it Mercy? Mercy Anarchy. Okay, that's pretty clever. What's going on to Piranha PJB, who was here? Psy TV was here. Who else we have here? I'm scrolling up in the feeds. We're in the broadcast in the chat room, so I'm just looking up and see what we have here. Carla's Danger was here. Rick Natter was here. Zero Cuck was here. Dr. Philly Blunt was here. Tad Hildebrandt. Yeah, Tal Hildebrandt was here. It's Mike Eister. Mike Eister was here. The Working Man was here. What's going on to the Pebble Droplet? Frankie Mankey was here. And nope, that's just about it. Unless I'm going to look about here in the bottom, very bottom. The Awesome Sponge Alt was here. So what's going on to you all? Anyways, this was the Wednesday broadcast of the True Capitalist Radio. This was episode number 596 here on the relay broadcast of the True Capitalist Radio relay stream. Of course, you can just watch anytime you want. Once it goes into the archives, it will be saved up in the archives for everybody can listen to and watch for it. So you guys can really just can listen and re-listen again anytime, and we'll be saving the history books. And yes, if you notice, the chat room is no longer on the screen no more. It is now replaced for the full game screen while Ghost Goat talks of it. But seems a little bit bland. I might put some stuff underneath, but I just need to wonder what to really put under it. So I'm see what to put on behind for a background. So, but for the moment, just a full game you see, so a full game screen. So everybody can just watch and see the action that goes on while the gameplay goes on. Alright, so that's about it. I guess I got nothing else to say other than, well, just buy and stock up some cryptos, especially some quantum, especially on the under $10 right now. So it's a very good buy still. So what are you waiting for? Just buy some crypto, buy some quantum. However you can, so I can just acquire it. It's easy, buy and hold, always do it. Just make sure to do your research, but also just follow what Ghost also says, because he does say some information that does really help. So do make sure and go do that now. If not, then just do what you do best. But for now, I see you guys this Friday for the Baller Friday edition of the True Capitalist Radio. No game stream this Friday, as I'm going to be off for a trip, but there will be a relay stream. So no worries about that, and until then, guys, I guess I'll see y'all for the 597 broadcast of the True Capitalist Radio. If not, then I'll see y'all on the next TCR broadcast right here on the Capitalist King Network. This is BN King signing up for the night. Want to wish everybody a good night. Have a good day. Sayonara. Buenas noches. and we'll see you next time. So good night, everybody. Until then, we'll see you next time. Later, guys.